The following is an exclusive presentation of the World Baseball Classic.
Shohei Ohtani, 1 of 1.
¡Siéntate! Lo retrata sin sonrisa.
God! George has arrived. Good night now. Santa Maria. High and deep and gone. World Baseball Classic. You get it all.
We've had 5 incredible games of Pool A play in the 2026 World Baseball Classic, but maybe everything has been so much that the weather decided to hit the pause button. A rain delay to kick things off on a Sunday evening here at Huron-Bithorn Stadium in San Juan, Puerto Rico. But in just a little while, we're getting set to bring you a pivotal matchup in Pool A, in which one team looks for a second win in the opening days of the Classic, and the other aims to avoid elimination, with Canada taking on Panama. Hi everybody, and welcome back to Huron-Bithorn Stadium alongside Ryan Rowland-Smith. My name is Tyler Mon. That behind us is what they call you in baseball, not what you want. A lot of rain here over the last few minutes. We're hoping this will be a short rain delay. Things move through pretty quickly. For Ryan, for Panama and Canada tonight, a big matchup in which Panama is trying to stay alive, and Canada turns to a veteran in Jamison Tyone to try to move to 2-0.
Yeah, and we saw our first team get eliminated today, Colombia, and now Panama is up against it as well. So you have this rain delay, you're sitting in that dugout or in that locker room, and you're just chomping at the bit to get going and try and rebound from that tough loss last night against Puerto Rico.
Canada looking to join those other two teams at 2-0 to get things started. They looked really good in their win yesterday. Cuba looked pretty solid in its win earlier today, and of course Puerto Rico with that incredible walk-off win last night over this Panama team that we'll talk about here in a minute. But Jamison Tyone gets the ball tonight for Canada, Ryan, in a big spot.
Yeah, and this is another one of Ernie Witt's veterans, major league presence, middle of a rotation. He's been a fixture in the big leagues for the last 9 years. Let's not forget too, Jamison Tyone has pitched in the World Baseball Classic, but a lot different role than what he is now. He was a 21-year-old. It was years before he ever got to the big leagues. But man, he carved out a nice career for himself. He's on the last year of his 4-year deal with the Cubs. He's a free agent after this season, but he's wearing Team Canada across his chest today, and this means the world to him to come out and try and get, for the first time ever, this Team Canada to get to the next round.
The son of 2 Canadian parents who has expressed his interest in playing for this team for a long time, and he gets this opportunity for his second Classic today. His first one came when he was 21 years old, all the way back in 2013. Ryan, on the other side, yeah, I don't know how emotionally you rebound from the type of game you had last night if you're Panama, but that's the challenge today for Jose Mayorga and his team.
Yeah, it was tough last night. We watched an amazing game again, obviously, especially for this Puerto Rican team. But last night, man, and by the way, amazing call, Tyler. You absolutely nailed this call. I have to give you some props. What a moment. We had a chance to spend the entire trip around the bases with Darryl Hernandez, a moment that he was dreaming of going back to 2023 when he was sitting in a hotel room praying one day he could represent Puerto Rico and have a moment just like this. It was heartbreaking for Panama. They had to wait 24 hours, even a little bit longer now because of the rain delay, to reset and try and stay in contention here in this World Baseball Classic.
I got goosebumps watching that back just now. Pretty good jump shot, by the way, for Darryl Hernandez. You might have that as an option if hitting legendary tanks in the World Baseball Classic doesn't keep him in baseball for as long as he might like. Right now, we're looking at potentially 7:45 local time, which is now even with Eastern time, for a start in this game. But the rain has arrived here at Huron-Bithorn Stadium yet again. A brief delay last night, but tonight we got a good one coming up for you in a little while. For now, we will step aside and we will send you to a recap video of the inaugural World Baseball Classic. If you're just jumping on the WBC bandwagon, you'll look back at highlights from 2006 when this thing got started. That's coming up next. A rain delay in Huron-Bithorn Stadium, but Canada and Panama coming up tonight. A truly picture-perfect night last night here in San Juan. Ryan, it was a party like I don't think we have ever seen.
Right.
You and I have gotten to call a lot of international baseball games at the Tokyo Dome, at the Taipei Dome, at the Taichung Intercontinental Baseball Stadium, and some drama last night that resulted in a win. We got drama tonight as well.
We do.
We've got a national anthem standoff between Panama and Canada.
This is what a rain delay will do to you. You start chatting back in the locker room, thinking, okay, what can we do out the gates? as we see Canada's about to take the field, and Logan Allen still hanging out on the line. Who we got down there for Team Panama?
I was just wondering, a batting helmet on. Is that somebody in the lineup? Oh, it's the two Logan Allens.
Wow,
well, that's fitting.
That?
So it's not just a national anthem standoff, a post-anthem standoff. This is a Logan Allen standoff. Which Logan Allen will reign supreme? Who's going to blink first in the battle of Logan's Allen? Intense stuff. Let's take a look at the lineup tonight for Panama. Jose Mayorga and his team trying to rally from their tough losses to get this thing started. The offense generated some opportunities yesterday. It is very different looking. How about the Baltimore Orioles young prospect Enrique Bradfield jumping up to the leadoff spot?
Yeah, a little bit of a different lineup. We've seen this already. A couple of these teams starting to press and push a little bit, trying to figure this out. Armando Sosa has to come up big. The Philadelphia Phillies, versatile infielder who's playing third base. You see Christian Bethancourt had that big double last night, but they need to capitalize on some of these opportunities, but it's going to be tough against Jamison Tyone. That is for sure, wearing that Team Canada uniform.
Jamison Tyone, an incredible family story. The Logan Allens have started a rock, paper, scissors battle, by the way, to determine the winner of this challenge. We'll get into Tyone's story throughout the night tonight, but the son of two Canadians. He last pitched, as we noted, in 2013 in the World Baseball Classic. Much different guy. He has been through so much in his baseball career, but what a guy to be able to turn to tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And not to mention, too, look, had some playoff experience at the end of last year in the Chicago Cubs uniform. As you see the standoff come to an end.
Panama got the win, by the way. Fired up that Panama dugout.
Yeah, but Jamison Tyone, I love it when these guys, man, they pitch in the World Baseball Classic as a young player. They're chomping at the bit to represent Canada and hopefully be on that big platform, face some big leagues before they ever get to the major leagues. And now here he is, years and years later, 9 years in the big leagues and some playoff experience, pitcher for Team Canada in a much different role.
Rain delay in the books. And game number 6 of this 2026 World Baseball Classic, Pool A, at exactly 8 o'clock in the evening is set to get started here on a Sunday night in beautiful San Juan, Puerto Rico. Jamison Tyone kicks and deals, and his first pitch to Enrique Bradfield, the Baltimore Orioles organization, fouled away, and we are underway here at Huron Bithorn Stadium.
Now, one thing with Michael Soroka, we saw that first night, who again, he mentioned he's trying to have that prove-it year with the D-backs. He took him a little bit to get settled in. Struggled with his command out the gates. It's a different feel. You're in the month of March.
Bradfield bunt down. He can fly, and no chance to get him. Enrique Bradfield, and now the ball escapes out beyond first base, and Bradfield's going to take at least one more. That's what speed does, and Enrique Bradfield is in scoring position on the second pitch of the game.
Man, Tyler, let me put you in the shoes right here. If you're inside in that infield or on that mound, you've come off that rain delay. You're trying to just get settled in. Everything's a little damp around you, right? It's a little bit muggy. See, Abraham Torre just kind of saying he's flat-footed. Bradfield would have beat that easily, but a perfect bunt and getting something happening quick here in the first inning.
That is exactly what you need if you're Panama. An emotional type of jolt right out of the gate as Bradfield in scoring position to get this thing started, and Tyone will go to work here against Jose Caballero. Shortstop 1 for 6, a couple of walks here in the Classic, an RBI as well, and surprise, surprise, a stolen base for Caballero. 868 OPS last season with the Rays and Yankees.
You had that base hit in the 10th inning last night that you felt like this upset's still going to hold true here when Puerto Rico snuck back in the game, went extra innings. Not the case. Man, what a heartbreaker they had last night.
Tyone a stare back at Bradfield, and he runs the count to 3-0 on Caballero. Ernie Witt, the longtime manager of this Baseball Canada senior national team, the only manager to have led the same country in all 6 World Baseball Classics, as Tyone fires that one in there at 92 for strike 1. And just a great, all-time great baseball guy, Ernie Witt. His bench coach, Greg Hamilton, the guy on the left of your screen, same can be said for him. And
As we noted in the open, a lot of Canada fans in the house tonight. Panama with a good contingent as well, as Caballero takes that one for a strike.
So that breaking ball is a little bit more inconsistent. He throws a bunch of these to righties, trying to get that chase. That pitch is kind of hanging up. You see Jose Caballero asking, hey, look, get the top of the strike zone.
Leo Bernal, the catcher last night for Panama. Cardinals prospect. 3-hole hitter. He'll bat next. Tyon's 3-2 on the way, and that one is ball 4.
And this is how Jamison Tyon's going to attack some of these hitters. He's going to have a lot of these righties in this lineup. It's going to be more of the cutter when he's behind him in the count. And he's going to try and get some of these guys with that sweeper, that pitch, that bigger breaking ball, that horizontal sweep. And to lefties, you're going to see more of that changeup. You see the four-seam fastball. He kind of got away from throwing that sinker. That's how he was when he first came up as a Pittsburgh Pirate, but transition a little bit more to the straighter fastball.
Bernal showing bunt, taking it back. Jamison Tyon.
Yeah, man, rock solid. I mean, look at those numbers. A couple Tommy Johns, one in 2019.
Yeah, 2-time Tommy John guy. And Tyon also underwent surgery back in 2019 for testicular cancer. He has been through so much, and this is an intensely meaningful experience for him in the Classic this year representing Canada. We'll talk about that tonight. As the 0-2, Bernal right back to Tyon. What a great grab. Throws it to the first base side of the second base bag. You cannot field and execute a double play better as a pitcher. And 1-6-3, now 2 gone.
And that was huge. Look, it's the first inning. You're trying to get settled in. It's still a little bit of that spring training mode, whether you like it or not, right? Because you're so conditioned to be at this point in the season to kind of be, slowly getting ready. Now, Bernal's the 3-hole hitter. They had him try and lay a bunt down, got him to an 0-2 count. And man, what a huge double play and a missed opportunity once again by Panama.
Big cut and miss from Jose Ramos.
I mean, you went from first and second, none out. Now all of a sudden you could have Jamison Tyon sneak out of this with a 0.
Bradfield literally backpedaling down the third baseline, now turns to face Tyon as Ramos takes ball 1 upstairs.
And if you're pitching in this situation too, look, it's a different role. We know he's pitching the World Baseball Classic, but more leans, weighs heavier on your shoulders because you're taking more of that veteran responsibility. Now you can take a breath, settle in, get in a good count, and get out of this inning.
1-1 is down. 2 balls and a strike. Tyon, you saw his numbers last season with the Cubs. ERA of just over 3.5. The whip impressive 1.06. Trying to battle out of this first inning, and Ramos fouls it away. It's now 2-2. Owen Casey out there in left field for Canada with Denzel Clark in center and Tyler O'Neill in right. This is an extremely good defensive group. And those 3 also did a whole lot of work on the offensive side. Casey with the 2-run homer, combining with his outfield mates for half of his team's run total in the RBI category. Tyon trying to finish off the top half of the first. 2-2 pitch. Count goes full on Ramos.
Yeah, you ain't kidding with this outfield, right? You have Denzel Clark, who made some of those catches last year when he broke through with the Athletics, patrolling center field. Tyler O'Neill showed off that arm yesterday. Owen Casey, the rookie, left field.
And there is the second walk of the inning as Tyon, he's not missing badly, but just missing the zone on ball 4 to both Caballero and Ramos.
Man, he's not getting any bites either on that breaking ball. Just pay attention here to see how he starts attacking some of these hitters, especially some of these righties. That was the one issue he had last year in the big leagues, was he just didn't have that same chase on that breaking ball to righties. He had plenty of it the year before. It's something he was trying to clean up this spring training going into 2026.
Ernie Whitt and Jose Mayorga, the managers of these 2 teams, with today very different things at stake. Canada would remain in a tie for first place in the pool with a win today. and Panama would be eliminated from quarterfinal contention. And not only that, but they would go into a game tomorrow morning against Colombia, and that would be a play-in game for the 2029 World Baseball Classic, because the loser of that game would finish winless in the pool and would be relegated to the qualifiers, barring a change in format. That's always possible if there's expansion of the tournament or other things. And Sosa swings and misses, and Tyone battles out of it. Panama can't cash in. We'll go to the bottom of the first here in San Juan. Starting lineup for Ernie Witt's most anticipated Baseball Canada squad ever to play in the World Baseball Classic looks like this tonight. Edouard Julien of the Colorado Rockies in the top spot. Josh Naylor of the Seattle Mariners behind him. But Owen Casey of the Miami Marlins batting 8th. He was one of the standouts for Canada yesterday with the 2-run homer.
Yeah, he came up big and lineup full of big league presence up against Jaime Barria.
Yeah, speaking of big league presence, a 6-year Major League veteran deals a first pitch fly out to Edouard Julien, 1 up and 1 down. And let's look at Jaime Barria in a little bit more depth, Ryan.
Yeah, a couple good years in the big leagues. A couple years ago, he had a sub-3 ERA, about 80 innings. You're going to see a ton of sliders. When he was at his best, he was able to land that slider inside the strike zone and get some good chase. After that, he went off to pitch in Asia, over in Japan. Pitched in Mexico after that.
So 1 out on 1 pitch, and here is the second of 5 left-handed hitters in the lineup for Canada, and 1 switch hitter as well. It's the Seattle Mariners first baseman Josh Naylor. Good day yesterday. 2 for 4 for his squad. 2 balls and no strikes on him. Jaime Barria, this is something that really ate away at his big league longevity. Really struggles early in games. The first inning has been a constant subject of torment for Jaime Barria, so trying to work something clean here against Canada. Shift rules apply here in the Classic, so got to keep 2 infielders on each side of the second base bag. But Panama is shifted about as much as you can be shifted in this modern era of baseball, with Edmundo Sosa way off the line over at third. Now goes full on Naylor on the foul ball. And no, that is catcher's interference on Miguel Amaya. Wow. So Naylor will take first.
Big backswing and Josh Naylor, and look at him getting up nice and close. And Maya, ooh, got him good. There we go.
That doesn't feel good. Miguel Amaya, the Chicago Cubs. Not a Chitre in Panama. First pitch to Tyler O'Neill is in tight for ball 1. Tyler O'Neill feeling really good. Last season, injury ravaged. Still nearly a 700 OPS despite being banged up, and he crushes this one, but way foul down the left field line. Holy smokes. That thing was towering. We already had rain. We don't need any more rain bringers.
Just jumping out on the pitch, middle of the plate. Way too feisty.
But we asked him on the workout day on Thursday. He said, my body feels great, and I spent a lot of time over this offseason just trying to get myself dialed in swing-wise. Timing, mechanical things. He said, my swing feels right now the best it's felt in a long time, like the bat is dropping into the zone the way I want it to. I'm just really confident in it right now. He was 1 for 3 yesterday, also walked a couple of times. And he's ahead in the count, 2-1. Barria home. 3 and nope, check that, 2-2. High strike on O'Neill. Ball lifted out toward right center. Bradfield calling off Ramos, and Jose Ramos at the last second gives way. Ramos has gotten a lot of work in center field for this Panama team already through the first couple of games. So those two guys will clarify things.
I ain't saying being vocal, but center fielder does have priority. As long as he's speaking up. It's not out here, by the way, last night with his crowd. A little bit different, still a good amount of people here for Panama and Canada, but obviously not the home crowd.
A couple of flyouts to center field, and here's the first World Baseball Classic at bat this year for tonight's designated hitter out of the Mets organization, Jared Young. Ball and a strike on him. Jared Young, 22 games in the major league level last year. He was called up 3 different times. And how about this? He hit just 186, but he had a 722 OPS. In his minor league campaign last year, 79 games, hit 303 with a 969 OPS. Also saw some time in the big leagues 2022 and 23, and also 2025 with the Cubs and Mets. And he lices one out to center field. Bradfield with that tremendous speed, like a corner in the NFL, catches up to it, and we'll go to the second. All scoreless through 1 at here on Bithorn Stadium. March 10th of 2013 at Marlins Park in Miami, the last time that we saw Jameson Taillon take the mound. Actually, this was in Phoenix, Arizona, in a World Baseball Classic game. Taillon against the United States, 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 3 strikeouts, a walk, 52 pitches. He was the number 15 prospect in baseball, and he was 21 years old, and he's got to deal with a bunt attempt to lead things off here in the second. Man, this has been a clinic in defending and fielding from the pitcher's mound from Jameson Taillon here in the first 4 outs of this game as he gets Christian Bethancourt at first.
Yeah, get another look, fielding his position. Yeah, I said this to you the other day, Tyler. Best time of year to be getting balls hit back to you because you're doing all those pitch and fielding practice, PFPs, during spring training. But yeah, Jameson Taillon, going back to 2013, you know, fresh off the fact he was the 2nd pick overall in the MLB draft. Sometimes when these players, you know, you get further away, obviously 9 years in the big leagues later, you forget that they were so prominent and so high up on that draft board.
Luis Castillo into the batter's box. I was lucky enough for a season to get to work, at least part of the season, with Jameson Taillon in AA Altoona in 2012. He was part of a rotation that included him and Garrett Cole that year. Said he and Garrett just got dinner in Florida a couple weeks ago. 2 fouled away. Taillon was back in AA that next season and then blew out his elbow in 2014, the first of his 2 Tommy John surgeries.
And you think back then too, right? So he was already at the, you know, at the upper level of the minor leagues, but think about the restrictions, you know, on here. Like coming from the Pirates, the 2nd pick overall, then you're going to let him go, leave spring training, leave camp to go represent Canada in March. And this is back, we watched the 2006 highlights as we were in that rain delay.
There's a rope to right field. Tyler O'Neill tracks it. 2 gone.
But you think even back then, especially on the pitching side, right? Like obviously it's opened up a little bit now and everyone's kind of loosened up a little bit in regards to the organization. But I had to deal with that in 2009. The Mariners took me in. We had brand new coaching staff. I just got put in the rotation the year before that. I was going to be in the rotation that year, and they said, look, you are not going to go play for Australia because you understand, put words in my mouth, basically saying you understand how important this is to get ready for a big year for you in 2009. And I said, okay, I get it, loud and clear. And I wasn't, look, I'd already had some time in the big leagues and all that, but you're talking about a 2nd pick overall, letting them go and represent their country, that, especially in the 2nd World Baseball Classic, that was a big deal. Excuse me, the 3rd World Baseball Classic.
Pitch foul to the plate by Miguel Amaya. It's pretty amazing looking back at that 2006 Classic. If you were able to explain to members of the Major League Baseball front office community in 2006 what the 2026 USA Baseball pitching staff would look like.
Right.
If you could convey what Paul Skeens and Tarek Skubal and all these guys were, their stature in the game, and the fact that they were all pitching in the Classic, there would be a lot of dropped jaws. Tyone set to go on 1-2 to the Cubs' Miguel Amaya, and misses just narrowly outside the zone. Miguel Amaya 0 for his first 3 here in the Classic.
Good pitch right there. Trying to get that freeze with that fastball.
Good job receiving that by Bo Naylor as well, right on the outside border of the zone.
So he gets that chase with that sweep.
Liner to third. Easy play for Abraham Toro. 3 up and 3 down for Jamison Tyone. We go to the bottom of the second. Scoreless at Iran Bithorn. Our third night of the 2026 World Baseball Classic as you get a look at beautiful Old Town San Juan. Pool A looks like this as we approach the middle stages of game number 6. With a win tonight, Canada will eliminate Panama. With a win tonight, Panama will stay eligible in its search of a first ever trip to the quarterfinal round as Bad Bunny looks on from the mural down the alleyway in Old San Juan. Otto Lopez will lead things off for Canada here in the bottom half of the second inning. Lopez, the shortstop, out of the 5-hole for his team. He'll be followed by Abraham Toro. He goes around there. It's 0-2. And then Bo Naylor. Those are the 3 due to the plate here. Otto last season with the Marlins, 143 games, 246 hitter with a 672 OPS. His second World Baseball Classic, and he bounces one out toward his counterpart at short, and it's past the dive of Jose Caballero, and there's the first hit of the night for Canada.
You got to do a better job with 2 strikes if you're Berea, but he is a tough man, Otto Lopez. We saw this last year in the big leagues. Tough man to strike out, pitch down and away. Doesn't try and do a whole lot. Just create some traffic. He can run. So Berea's going to have to watch him up at first base.
So that'll bring up the 29th overall pick by Cleveland in the 2018 MLB first-year player draft. Well, once he comes in from the on-deck circle. This one is Abraham Toro. That was Bo Naylor, who is waiting. I was so anxious to
Just so excited to see Bo.
Bo Naylor, talk about the time of the 2017 U18 Baseball World Cup with
You've been holding to that note all afternoon or so.
Bo Naylor's going to bat today, you guys. Abraham Toro's had a really good start. 2 for 3, double, triple, 2 runs batted in, and a walk yesterday.
Yeah, that walk was huge, Tyler, yesterday. 3-2 changeup, didn't chase. Walked in that run.
Christian Bethencourt, the unorthodox back between the wickets tag approach with a guy standing already on top of the bag. Bethencourt played a really nice first base last night for Panama. That pitch a strike to Toro. It's 2-1. Veteran guy, started his career as a catcher in the Atlanta organization, one of the most highly touted defensive catchers, Christian Bethencourt. Abraham Toro.
Yeah, nice play at first base last night.
Toro started his career in the Houston Astros organization and was part of that wave of prospects in the Astros' best years after their first World Series title. He was traded to the Seattle Mariners in July of 2021. And he lines one out toward right center. This one's headed for the alleyway. It'll split Ramos and Bradfield. No chance that there's going to be a play on Lopez, who is flying into home with the first run of the night. And Canada's up 1-0 in the bottom of the second on the double.
I'll tell you what, Abraham Toro, he can get streaky at times. You mentioned that time he got traded over to the Seattle Mariners. And he tore it up right out of the gates. He's had them at the moments. April of last year with the Red Sox, he got a nice little run where he was doing this, just driving the gaps. We saw it yesterday where he was wearing that left field. This time getting the pitch middle in, pulling that ball into right, and Canada's on the board.
Otto Lopez motoring around to score the first run of this game. And now here is, stop me if you've heard this before, a guy who was the 29th overall pick in the 2018 draft by Cleveland, Bo Naylor, swing and a miss. Naylor has represented his country before, did play on the junior national team for Canada on home soil in Thunder Bay, Ontario at the U18 Baseball World Cup. Saw Warren and Barb Philp today, who are from Thunder Bay, Ontario, and were part of the committee that put that World Cup together. That was one of the best international baseball events that I've gotten a chance to work. So much fun. Canada played for bronze in that game, ended up falling to Japan, the United States. You want an insane baseball roster, go look up that USA baseball squad from the 2017 U18 Baseball World Cup. Virtually everybody was a first or second round draft pick. Here's that rope off the bat of Toro.
Yeah, nice. And look at the way he swings too. It kind of plays itself where he can let that ball get a little deeper, especially when he's deeper in the count. Hit that ball on the left, but this time getting in that right field gap.
So Toro in scoring position. Naylor trying to add to this early lead, and he lifts one out toward right. Ramos there to make the grab. Toro bluffs but stays home.
And he's hitting a constant pattern too from Jaime Barria. He's just getting in these bad counts. And you talk about getting in good counts, bad counts. If you're going to constantly in 3-1s, 2-0s, that's where the damage is going to come, especially against this lineup. They're going to wait you out, get something they can feast on middle of the plate. It's not about stuff either from Jaime Barria. Yeah, he's lost a little bit of stuff from when we saw him his time in the big leagues, but as an angel, you got to get yourself strike one first.
Oh, and Casey, first pitch swinging out into a shifted defensive look. Jose Caballero started that play obviously on the third base side of the second base bag, but he makes that throw to first. That's a really nice adjustment out there to snare it off the bat of Casey. It will advance Toro, and now 2 gone.
And Casey really aggressive. That's something we'll go back and watch some of his clips. He's jumping over anything middle of the plate. Easy, Abraham.
So 2-way for Denzel Clark. And a tapper. Amaya springs to it, and that'll wrap up the bottom half of the second inning. But Abraham Toro's RBI double gets Canada on the board with a 1-0 lead through 2. Panama has never advanced past the first round of the World Baseball Classic. They did not qualify in 2012 and 2016, but they are looking to save those quarterfinal hopes coming up tonight in this matchup with Canada. A couple of wins over Chinese Taipei and Italy in that pool of chaos back in 2023. Ryan and I were lucky enough to be on those games. As Leo Jimenez, the second baseman out of the 9 spot for Panama, leads off here in the top half of the 3rd inning. Jimenez over his first 3 with a walk in the Classic. Ball and a strike on him from Jameson Taillon.
Yeah, one name, Tyler, that Ernie Whitt mentioned, it could be piggybacking Jameson Taillon depending on how this pitch count looks. It's James Paxton. A lot of time in the big leagues for a no-hitter in the big leagues.
Jimenez sends one out toward Denzel Clark for a leadoff out. Enrique Bradfield Jr., he is putting his name in the minds of Baltimore Orioles fans everywhere. And this was in the 1st inning.
Yeah, nice bunt. No surprise, too. You haven't seen him at the top of the lineup as a fixture here of this Panamanian team. He's dynamic and covering that ground in that right center gap.
Man, he is such a fun story on this team for Panama, too. Enrique Bradfield Jr. And we heard earlier this week from his manager, Jose Mayorga. I'm not sure who's more excited to represent Panama, Enrique Bradfield Jr. or his dad, but 80 grade speed. That is the highest possible grade on the baseball scouting scale of 20 to 80, and a 70 grade field tool for the center fielder. Bradfield hails from Pembroke Pines, Florida, but his parents are both Panamanian, and he has represented Panama a host of times before, including at the youth levels. It's his first World Baseball Classic. He was a standout at Vanderbilt. 130 stolen bases in 3 seasons for the Vandy boys. 2 balls and 2 strikes on him here.
We talk about that speed. Look at Torres still playing in with 2 strikes, right, for the bunt. Not to mention, too, if you do get that little dribbler off the bat or a swinging bunt, you just don't have time if you play back.
And Bradfield can't catch up to the 2-2, and he is gone. But as a kid, look at the forecasting in Enrique Bradfield's life. Representing Panama, wearing the Orioles foam finger.
You're a Birdland member. Love it.
One of the top prospects in baseball now is Bradfield. He knew we were talking about him, and he disappeared in that third base dugout as a pitch there for a called strike to Jose Caballero. If you were to put up a photo of me at that age, I would do that in a heartbeat. Disappear in the dugout. Called strike 3, and making quick work of Caballero. Really good third inning for Jameson Taillon, who's retired 7 straight. We go to the bottom of the third. It's a 1-0 lead for Canada.
And that one's tagged deep to right field. It'll be 2 bases, 4 more on. Bono crushes it. Goodness gracious. Freddie Freeman comes through. Base hit, RBI.
Some of the great Canadian first basemen from World Baseball Classic history as we are back for the bottom half of the third inning. One of them in that dugout over on the first base side, Justin Morneau. 4th most home runs by a Canadian player in baseball history. Larry Walker, Joey Votto, Matt Stairs, who we didn't talk about a lot in our discussion yesterday of the great left-handed hitters from Canada, as Edouard Julien leads things off. But man, oh man, did we hear about the conversation that we had regarding the possible connection between young Canadian athletes learning how to play hockey and maybe that translating into why there are so many left-handed hitters.
Don't open that can of worms again, please.
I won't say we got roasted.
No, you got roasted.
But we did get a lot of feedback. Here's the thing, though. We heard from a lot of fans about their thoughts on why so many great hitters are left-handed from Canada. What a play by Leo Jimenez on a leaping grab on a looping liner off the bat of Julien, 1 gone.
This is a nice play for a couple of reasons. First of all, ranging all that way, Jimenez to his right. But also, too, watch out for Jose Caballero, who's right next to you. Make sure you guys aren't colliding. Nice play right there. But again, just too much contact. I talked about this coming into this inning. Jose Barria, that's now 6 of 10 of these hitters. He's been behind in the count. And again, if you think you're going to live 2-0, 3-1 to all these hitters, especially someone like Josh Naylor, you're going to be in big trouble.
Josh Naylor skies the first pitch into right. In comes Ramos to put it away. 2 gone. Look at what these guys did in this tournament. Freddie Freeman had his struggles, but how about Joey Votto and Justin Morneau? Freddie Freeman was supposed to be on this team, had to drop out for personal reasons. Justin Morneau, 8 extra base hits, 6 runs batted in, 4 times holding down first base for Canada.
Russell Martin. 2 men with ice rinks on their property, which is amazing. How about that? I mean, did we talk about that yesterday?
We haven't yet.
The basement?
We haven't yet. But I just want to point out, everybody reached out to roast me about Edouard Julien's theory that maybe the hockey thing was part of the reason why so many good Canadian hitters are left-handed. They all had a different theory. So they don't know either.
Right.
Canada, I love you. I play your national sport. As Ryan was roasting me for in the between inning break. Yeah, we all know you play beer league. But somebody said, well, maybe it's because, you know, as the right hand is further down the shaft of the stick, that controls it more. Maybe the bottom hand on the bat, if you're left-handed, that controls it more. Somebody, and I thought this was an interesting theory, thought it's the eye dominance thing. If you're a right-handed shooter and a left-handed hitter, maybe it's because that right eye dominance. But there were like 19 different theories, so none of us knows. Don't get mad at me, Canada. I love you.
Just keep digging a hole. Just keep going. I'm not commenting on the hockey stick debate.
Tyler O'Neill with 2 gone. rushes another one foul down the line.
And that's just straight wheelhouse for him. Again, 3-1. Once again, it's now 3-2, but these are the pitches when Tyler O'Neill is right, middle in. He's pulling the ball around 43-44% of the time. It's well above Major League average.
Got his hands into that so quickly as well, and he will take his walk.
Yeah, good at bat right there. Trying to get him to chase that little breaking ball, especially when he's in pull mode.
Starting pitcher tonight, Jaime Barria, two-time Angels pitching prospect of the year, a couple of minor league all-star selections. He pitched in the Futures game in 2017, made it up to the bigs by 2018. As Ryan noted, went over to Asia. He pitched in the Korea Baseball Organization for the Hanwha Eagles, and most recently in Mexico with Union Laguna last season.
Yeah, he found some success too. He initially was a starter, 26 starts his first year with the Angels in 2018. But later on, when he was trying to get settled in, there was a bunch of ups and downs, but he threw 79 innings, 2.26 ERA in 2022, and then just couldn't replicate that success in 23, and then off he went over to Japan.
2 balls and no strikes on the left-handed hitting DH Jared Young. Flew out to center field to end the first inning.
I'll tell you what, this World Baseball Classic as well, right? You get that mix of big-time prospects. We see Owen Casey in this game, a bunch of top 100 prospects. You get these MLB superstars, but you also get those guys who all of a sudden back on that platform here who have kind of left the big leagues a couple years ago, trying to make their way back.
Nice play over at first by Christian Bethencourt to knock that one down. And we go to the fourth. Canada with a 1-0 lead over Panama. Panamanian baseball fans hanging out tonight, including some from the province of Chiriquí. That is the hat that that young lady's rocking. Right on cue, looks over to get the shot. That's CH Chiriquí province, home to a lot of players on this squad. David and Chitre. As we get this thing going, she's got some great seats too tonight, as Santiago native Leo Bernal will lead things off for Panama here in the top half of the fourth inning against Jamison Tyone, who's been really good, Ryan, and an amazing story for why Jamison Tyone is on this team by Shai Davidi for Sportsnet Canada that I really urge you to read. Got a chance to talk to Jamison Tyone, and he wrote a terrific piece about Tyone's family history. Bernal serving one out into left field, and there is Panama's first hit of the day since that Enrique Bradfield leadoff single on the bunt in the first. As you look back on some of Canada's issues pitching-wise in the World Baseball Classic, that has never been a strong suit for this team.
No, it really hasn't. That won't get you through that pool play, as we've seen. They haven't gotten through the first pool play, but I'll tell you what, the starting pitching has been good. 6 innings coming into this, just 1 run between Jamison Tyone and Marcus Soroka the last 2 days.
Terrific work by the bullpen yesterday. 7 strikeouts, 2 walks. They retired 12 of 13 at one point as Jose Ramos takes ball 1. Jamison Tyone's grandmother, Agnes Cormendi, was born in Budapest in 1925, but fled to Canada as a refugee in 1949. And Jamison Tyone had a really moving quote in this Sportsnet story today. He said, "She had to leave it all behind, go figure out a life somewhere else. I heard stories of her sneaking through minefields. Ended up in Canada, welcomed with open arms. I know without her escaping and without Canada welcoming her, there's no my mom, there's no me. It's a crazy story." His grandmother Agnes wrote a book for her family to learn about her life before she passed away in 2018. She did get to watch Jamison represent Canada in 2013, but the love that his family has for that country, Jamison's parents are both Canadian. His mother born in Toronto, his father from just outside of Cornwall, Ontario. They would bring Jamison and his siblings back to Canada every summer when he was a kid. He said it was kind of annoying as a kid because he didn't want to miss travel ball tournaments, but now he's really grateful for those moments. Born in Lakeland, Florida, grew up in suburban Houston. And to know what a kid went through, a 24-year-old who was your grandparent, sneaking through minefields to try to leave Soviet-occupied Hungary as the runners off from first, and a foul ball there by Ramos.
Right.
And then coming to Canada, being embraced by that community. You know, in the late 1940s, so much of what was built in the U.S. and Canada was because of those immigrants who arrived from war-ravaged Europe. And just an amazing story for Tyone and for his family.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it goes beyond just, well, hey, look, I got a grandparent with a passport or whatever it may be. And you get exposed to some of these stories and these backgrounds. Makes it that much more special.
3 balls and 2 strikes here on Ramos, as Bernal does have a stolen base for his team's first couple of games.
I'll tell you what, you see Bernal over at first base. I'm still sort of scratching my head as to why they. I know they're trying to put the pressure on Jamerson Tyone in that first inning, that being Panama, but having him try and lay a bunt down, he's been so good. He's 4 for 10 in this tournament.
Ramos lifts one out to right, where Tyler O'Neill will settle under it for the first out. Jamerson Tyone's first round is effectively done once he exits this game. He's over 50 pitches now, so 4 days mandatory rest, but Canada has eyes on way more than just this opening round in San Juan. Ernie Witt and his team, along with Greg Hamilton, the rest of this tremendously deep and knowledgeable coaching staff. This is the best roster they've ever brought. Ryan talked to Ernie Witt back at the winter meetings in December when I got a chance to visit with him and Greg Hamilton. He said, you know, we're saying no to guys that we never would have thought that we were going to be able to say no to. Edmundo Sosa struck out to end the first inning. Waits on a 1-0. Tags it foul. Here's how the bullpen stacked up yesterday for Canada. Again, really good work out of the pen after Michael Soroka's solid start.
Right, you see that 3 innings from Michael Soroka. It took him a little bit to get settled in. It took Jamerson Tyone 20 pitches to get through that first inning. So the fact he's here in the 4th and trying to close out that 4th inning, you know about the restrictions. Sets up this team, takes the stress off that bullpen just a little bit more when you're trying to get through these early rounds.
And how about the big farmer, Philippe Almont, who got to get the final out of that win? Michael Soroka really steady, yeah, once he kind of found his rhythm. Almont, one of everybody's favorite stories in this classic, as the bouncer will turn into an out on the lead runner on that snapped bat for Sosa. Bernal retired. Sosa will replace him at first. That looks like it's going to do it for Jamerson Tyone, as Ernie Witt will make his way out to the mound. And 3 2/3 solid innings for Jamerson Tyone. Canada's got the lead as he departs in the 4th. The day comes to a close for Canada's big right-hander, Jamerson Tyone. 3 2/3 solid innings. He is charged with the runner aboard at first and Edmundo Sosa, but Ryan, he retired 7 straight at one point. Really good work.
Yeah, he looked good. I mean, 20 pitches to get through that first inning. He was on the ropes. First and second, none out. Was able to get out of it with that big double play. So he was good pitching into the 4th inning. You know about the restrictions, obviously.
And here is the new arm into the game. A supremely talented left-hander who was named the Big 12 Pitcher of the Year as the first relief pitcher in that conference's history to ever get that honor with the Houston Cougars. It's the Montreal native Antoine Jean. Working against Christian Bethancourt here. Ball and 2 strikes on him. Bethancourt grounded out on that bunt back to Tyone in the 2nd inning. John's 1-2 pitch.
That's nothing but breaking balls. That slider, 85-86. Can get that heater up to the mid-90s.
Bethancourt serves one the other way. O'Neill's going to have to play it on a bounce. And it is 1st and 2nd with 2 gone for Panama, trying to build something here in the 4th.
And you see Bethancourt looking in that dugout, just trying to get something going for this Panamanian team. remember, it was the 5th inning where they broke out against Puerto Rico, and they had Puerto Rico going back to last night on the ropes, Tyler. Man, it was, you talk about a party last night, it was stressful throughout that entire game.
Already have an email about the left-handed Hockey Canada connection, and they agree that it's from the hockey background, as Antoine John will go to work here, first and second with 2 gone. Luis Castillo at the plate. Antoine John, 7th round pick of the Rockies last season. He was also drafted in the 17th round by the Minnesota Twins back in 2019, but elected to go play at the University of Houston. He is a former Canadian junior national team representative, the U18 Baseball World Cup in Busan, South Korea back in 2019. An event won by Chinese Taipei as they dethroned the United States, which had won 4 straight U18s prior to that edition. And the pick play on at second. Nice job by Edouard Julien to handle that throw, as those 2 guys could be teammates in Colorado sooner rather than later.
I tell you what, you can see the adrenaline in Antoine John right now. Just see him rushing a little bit. He's fired up. Nerves are probably at an all-time high right now.
Sosa at second, Christian Bethancourt at first. Long lead there for Sosa, and the 1-1 is cranked foul. Panama's offense, much like Colombia's, sputtering the first couple of games, and not a whole lot of extra traffic on the base paths. Ryan, just 4 walks to this point, not hit with a lot of pop. And only 4 runs through their first now 2 in nearly a half a game. But this one to right field is down for a base hit. Sosa rounds third. The ball gets past O'Neill, and rounding third, but holding there is Bethancourt. We're all tied up, and it's second and third with 2 gone. And Bethancourt is still down beyond the third base bag. And they're going to send Derek Diaz, the athletic trainer, out to look at him. And man, you hope this isn't anything serious for Christian Bethancourt.
Yeah, because he was starting to heat up at the plate. All of a sudden, Panama, good piece of hit right there, driving that ball into right field. Bethancourt maybe slipped.
Really hope Christian Bethancourt's okay. On the left side of your screen, yeah, just kind of an awkward stumble there.
Yeah. Slipped on the bag.
Oof. You can see that left foot awkwardly angled, but it's the right foot that they've been checking out. We did get rain, obviously started this game about an hour late at 8 o'clock. The bases were covered, the tarp was on the field, so not directly because of the rain, but obviously still a lot of moisture and humidity in the air. I think we're testing this thing out to see if he'll stay in this game. That's a veteran bat that you don't want to lose in this lineup. Panama's contingent. Happy to see Bethancourt at least giving it a crack, and he is going to stay in.
Yeah, good to see. He just signed a deal with the Cubs if he makes the team out of spring training, which he'll be going back to shortly after the World Baseball Classic. So, back to the big leagues, showing some range at first base as well. That's starting to heat up a little bit.
Good to see Bethancourt staying in this game. And in the midst of all of this, we got a visit to the mound. You look back at the second inning.
Yeah, we saw Toro slip a little bit around in this bag. Yeah, look at that, just straight off that slick top of that base down that third.
So with 2 gone, Panama's got the go-ahead run 90 feet away, and John deals the first pitch check swing there by Amaya. It's 0-1.
Antoine John too. 7 of the 9 pitches. I think they're 8 of 10 now. Have been sliders. He's sticking with that pitch. Another one.
Canada's bullpen getting to work, and it is the guy who we saw yesterday for 5 pitches, Philippe Almond.
Had a big lead yesterday to come in and get that last out. Now all of a sudden coming into a 1-1 game.
Talk about a pressure spot for a guy who's been out of professional baseball since 2019 and building his family farm in Quebec. He's going to be thrown into a pressure cooker potentially here in San Juan, as that one is cut on and missed. Amaya is gone, and John stems the tide here in the 4th. We go to the bottom of 4 in a tie game. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of World Baseball Classic Incorporated and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Canadian baseball legend and Hall of Famer Ernie Whitt at the helm of this squad here in 2026, the most talented group he has ever had in a World Baseball Classic. And he and his team find themselves in a 1-1 tie as we go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Jaime Maria is still in there for Panama as Otto Lopez leads things off. He singled in the 2nd, scored his team's only run of this game to this point on Abraham Toro's RBI double right behind him. And he laces one off the mound. It deflects right to Leo Jimenez. Tough luck there for Lopez, 1 away. Jaime Perea reaching that 50 pitch threshold here in just 4 more tosses. 3 guys who are out of action due to the pitch count restrictions today, and 3 more after pitching on consecutive days. So it is a light bullpen over there tonight for this Panama squad and Jose Mayorga.
With all the drama and the excitement last night, we didn't get a good enough chance to talk about how good was Gerardo last night. And talk about setting the tone too, right? You're in a situation where you know your pitching is going to be limited. Obviously the depth. You had Baldonado who was running on fumes, couldn't make those pitches late in that game. But for Gerardo to start that game, how good he was. He was on the ropes multiple times. He was able to pitch around this Baldonado. Get squeezed a little bit. As that game got kind of crazy there in those late innings. Couldn't hold on to that lead.
Swing and a miss by Abraham Toro. It's 1-2.
And with that too, Jaime Barrera settled in. That count, 1-2 count. A bit more efficient. Pitch count still in good shape, 49 pitches.
Yeah, really good efficiency tonight from Barria. As Toro holds up there. Barria thought maybe he had strike 3. No swing on appeal, says Tomoya Ishiyama down at 3rd base. He's the umpire there. Domingo Paulino is at 2nd base with Carapaza at 1st and Nestor Sea behind the plate. 2-2, clubbed to center, but a good jump for Bradfield, who's there.
I tell you what, Abraham Torres getting some good swings off. He's going to be a threat in this lineup as this WBC goes on.
So 2 outs and the base is empty. Here's Bo Naylor.
It's a hanging pitch with 2 strikes.
Toro already 3 extra base hits in the Classic through a game and a half for his team. Naylor was 1 for 4 yesterday. Flew out in his first trip. 1-0 from Barria. Naylor out towards center. That'll get down for a base hit. So a 2-out knock for Bo Naylor. That'll keep the inning alive for Owen Casey.
Yeah, you get 2 quick outs, and all of a sudden, you get Bo Naylor trying to sneak into a good count. Puts that ball into right field. See the bullpen getting going. Gonzalez, lefty. Owen Casey here with 2 outs. He's going to be aggressive. Going to make good pitches right out of the gates.
Very dangerous bat in the batter's box right now to face Jaime Barria. 2-run homer yesterday, and Casey takes ball 1. Last year in the Chicago Cubs organization, 937 OPS with AAA Iowa. And this was it yesterday, Ryan. A big shot early on.
Yeah, got a hanging breaker ball, middle of the plate. Eyes absolutely lit up on this pitch. Whack. Got to start it for this Canadian team. 2nd home run of his World Baseball Classic career. Now, we talked about the power potential, 30+ home run potential for Owen Casey. It's a matter of cutting down on that chase and that swing and miss.
1-1, and he punches this one to left center field and down for a base hit. Naylor around second. What a job by Bradfield to cut it off. Naylor will hold, and it's 1st and 3rd for Canada, building something with 2 outs in the 4th.
Yeah, 2 quick outs. You think to yourself, I can pitch myself into the 5th inning here in round 1, which is very difficult to do. And then you serve up that with 2 strikes. Middle of the plate. And I tell you what, Owen Casey, we talk about that 30+ power. It's so easy for a young hitter to try and just go absolute pull mode, dead red, get that A swing off. He didn't try and do a whole lot, let that ball get a little deeper on him. Drive that ball in the left center gap.
How about Bradfield on the slide? He hydroplaned about 6 yards with the...
Kind of like you playing goalie in men's league.
I wasn't going to bring it up. I just want to point out you brought it up this time. Not all of us got to play in the big leagues. We gotta take our wins where we can get them. Owen Casey over at first, talking with Russell Martin. These are the top 100 prospects in this 2026 World Baseball Classic, and 4 of them playing in this pool. Casey, Michael Arroyo, Elmer Rodriguez, who we'll see tomorrow night for Puerto Rico, and Leo Bernal, who is in the 3 spot tonight as the DH for Panama. So much talent. A guy you know just a little bit, Ryan, and Travis Bazzana, the first overall pick a couple years ago for the Cleveland Guardians, who's been leading his Australia team, which is 1 win away from moving on to Miami. That monster matchup looming against Korea in Pool C. Japan has already won that group. They're now essentially a play-in for the 2nd round as Denzel Clark goes waving and missing at the first pitch. 0-1. Denzel Clark just drips with talent, and especially what he does out in the field. Trying to get his bat going. Last year with AAA Las Vegas in the athletics organization, he hit 280 with an 841 OPS and limited sample size, 32 games there. He played 47 games at the big league level. Of course, was injured last season, a right adductor strain that he suffered in mid-July. Fouls this one away, and it is now 1-2 on him.
Yeah, he has a huge opportunity with the Athletics, you know, back stateside. He just has to show that consistency offensively, right? We know how talented he is. I see some of these amazing plays at center field, but man, he has a huge opportunity with that young Athletics team.
And he grabs one right side, that's through for a base hit. Denzel Clark delivers here in the 4th, and Canada's back on top 2-1.
I tell you what, this offense, man, it is so stacked. We've said it multiple times now. Up and down the lineup. You had a 2-out base hit from Bo Naylor. Then you got to deal with Owen Casey. And then right on top of that, you got Denzel Clark. And that'll be it for Jaime Barria, who was so close to sneaking out of this 4th inning.
2 quick outs to start things in the 4th, but the wheels come off, and Barria's night is done. Right side single to drive in the 2nd run of the game for Denzel Clark, and you see the emotion of the young guy in the A's organization clapping those WBC colored Franklin batting gloves. His first World Baseball Classic hit in his 16th plate appearance. And man, Denzel Clark is just such an easy guy to cheer for. And he's gotten his team back in the lead here in the bottom of the fourth, Ryan. It's 2-1 as Panama goes to the bullpen and goes with a left-hander and also an athletics guy in James Gonzalez.
Yeah, you can see numbers just over 4 ERA. Has that really good changeup. He's going to get his fair share of left-on-left matchups here with his Team Canada. You're going to see more of that. Breaking ball right there. Go along with the fastball.
Edouard Julien, the leadoff man today. 0 for 5 to start this Classic with a couple of walks yesterday. Julien grew up in Quebec City. His father, Remy, was a huge Expos fan. Used to tell him Expos stories when he was a kid. Fouls this one back. Edouard was a force for Canada in the 2023 Classic. So look at all the A's prospects here, just in Pool A, by the way. The guy at the bottom of that list, the hero last night, and maybe the most feted guy on this island today. 2-2 is ball 3 as it goes full. Julien in 2023, a .538 hitter in the Classic, 7 for 13, 2 home runs, and 1821 OPS. A couple of doubles, scored 5 times, stole a base. Also a member of that Canada roster for the U18 World Cup back in 2017. Facing a full count offering from Gonzalez. No, he'll check on Casey at second first. (3-2) runners break, swing and a miss, and that will do it here in the fourth. But Canada has taken the lead back, and we go to the fifth. They're out in front 2-1. Welcome back to the 2026 World Baseball Classic with former Major Leaguer and 2-time Team Australia WBC pitcher Ryan Rowland-Smith. My name is Tyler Rahn here in San Juan, Puerto Rico at Iran Bithorn Stadium for our continuing coverage of Pool A. Ryan, Canada's bullpen is going to get a chance to try to prove its cause as this game has gone to the pen. Antoine Jean will continue to work, the first man out of that bullpen for his squad, and it has started to rain yet again here in San Juan as the leadoff man Leo Jimenez out of the 9 spot in the order getting things started.
Yeah, that's been the Achilles heel for this Canadian squad throughout the years of the World Baseball Classic. But again, we talked to Ernie Witt too about this during the workouts right before game 1, and he was pretty open about it. We asked him about some of the guys who might be missing. He didn't name names, but he talked about being disappointed by some guys not putting their hand up to come and play on this team, and a lot of that is in this pitching staff. I mean, you got a couple guys too. I mean, look, James Paxton, I cannot wait to watch him pitch. We're going to see him right here. Had an amazing, unbelievable career in the big leagues, don't get me wrong, but you got him, Felipe Almont, a couple guys who haven't pitched for a while, coming off the couch. He's going to fill that bullpen up. So I'm curious to see how James Paxton looks. This World Baseball Classic
here in the top half of the 5th inning.
Antoine Jean was going breaking ball heavy that first inning of work. Get that strikeout to finish the 4th inning off. That fastball at the top of the strike zone. Low to mid-90s on that hitter. Here's another breaking ball.
Enrique Bradfield Jr., that bunt single with a throwing error along with it, put him at second base to lead things off in this game, and he's hit by a pitch here. So extremely dangerous speed is on.
Yeah, no doubt. We've seen how aggressive they've been. We talked about it even before we started this pool play. No doubt, Bradfield at some point in this next at-bat is going to be taken off, even with a lefty on the mound.
80 grade speed. Again, that is the top grade possible. That's an A+ on the baseball scouting scale.
This is, of course, Jose Caballero. If you've paid attention to him in the last couple of years, he has created all kinds of drama at the box because of this. We talk about the hitters have to make eye contact with the pitcher. And as a Seattle Mariner, Tampa Bay Ray, and now as a New York Yankee, he'll look down, he'll wait to the last second to look up at the pitcher. Getting ahead a little bit.
Look at the numbers for Enrique Bradfield Jr. Last year, limited by injury in his minor league campaign, but combined in 96 games between the minors and the Arizona Fall League, 53 stolen bases, and we got a pitch timer violation that will go against Antoine John.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I'm talking about right here. Look, Antoine John is working quick. But Jose Caballero is not going to look up until he's ready to hit. That's part of the rule here with the pitch clock.
And Bradfield trying to be in John's head as well over at first. High fly ball. In the rain, out to left, wind blowing in, Casey there. That is a much more difficult out than it looks as Casey hauls it in. Canada's got a whole lot of speed to contend with on this Panama roster, although Alan Cordoba not in the lineup tonight. He suffered some shoulder discomfort yesterday, but Caballero, Bradfield Jr., I mean, this is a lot to deal with if you're Canada.
Yeah, and 49 bags. Look at that. You think, well, 53, but 49 at the major league level. You see that man standing over there at first base, too. Josh Naylor, he can steal a bag.
Here's Leo Bernal, who actually has a stolen base already in this event. Might not look like a burner. It's 6 foot 245. Bernal, he does everything right. Really good offensive season last year. Texas League Championship with the Springfield Cardinals at AA. He was a minor league Gold Glove Award winner.
You see Antoine John throwing over there. There's times, obviously a left-handed pitcher, but there's times where you don't want to show off your best move. You show a couple different looks. There he goes.
There he goes. And the throw to second is not in time to get him as Bradfield's got the bag swiped.
And that's right to my point. I was just about to get done talking about they may take another look at this. Ernie Witz got his hand up.
That was a really good throw by Bro
Really
Naylor.
was.
Yeah, just never got a tag on him.
Get the tag on him. I didn't even get done saying, anytime you're a elite base stealer and that lefty throws that move over and you get a good look at it, you're like, all right, I know what I'm keying off right now and I can just take off.
Bo Naylor, you can't make much of a better throw than that. 1-1 to Bernal, trying to tie this game, and he laces one out to center as Denzel Clark has no trouble. Man, he is so much fun to watch in the outfield, and he pulls it in. Canada's lead holds. We go to the bottom of the fifth. And here he is on the biggest stage in international baseball. And the 1-2 crushed left field line deep. Puerto Rico, increíble. I would imagine Darell Hernandez woke up this morning wondering if he had dreamed that from last night. The walk-off home run to beat Panama. We got a little bit of controversy to start things here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Wanted a pitch timer violation, did Canada, or did Panama, on Canada's leadoff man in this inning, Josh Naylor, and I believe they will get one.
Wow, Christian Bethencourt all over that from first base.
Yeah, he was the one really animated as that issue came to light. Canada a run in the second inning to take the lead first in this game. Panama bounced back to tie at the top of the fourth. Canada answered with a run in the bottom of 4, and here is Naylor kicking off the 5th. Josh reached on catcher's interference on a full count in the first inning. Took a swing and got all of Miguel Amaya's glove, it looked like, on the replay. Naylor waits, and the 0-2 is pounded out to second. Big hop there for Leo Jimenez, 1 away. This was it back in the first inning. It was the first base runner for Canada.
That was a hell of a cut in that catcher's glove.
So with 1 gone, here is Tyler O'Neill. One of only 3 fully right-handed hitters in the lineup for Canada. The first pitch is down to him for ball 1. Wind is howling in yet again from left, but we did have rain a little bit ago, maybe 5 minutes ago, that has since stopped. What Tyler O'Neill did, just crushing left-handed pitching 2 seasons ago, but 2025 not quite the same. He is feeling really good about where his swing is right now. He's also feeling really good about what the Baltimore Orioles did over the offseason. He was really excited to get this 2026 season started in Baltimore. As James Gonzalez works against him here with a 3-0 count, and the base is empty. And O'Neill will take his second straight walk.
Yeah, you talk to guys, especially at the major league level, have that platoon style split where they absolutely, with their right hand here, absolutely dominate left-handed pitching. And you mentioned the fact that a couple of years ago he hit 350 against lefties and then hit 157 last year. Man, your confidence can just dwindle when that happens. But you mentioned earlier too, Tyler, we talked to Tyler O'Neill, some of the swing adjustments he's made, some of those pitches that he felt like a couple of years ago he was getting just barreling up. Last year it felt like he was rolling over him or just missing him. That timing, getting that barrel through the zone a little bit longer, a more balanced approach.
Jared Young unable to hold up there on the 0-1. It's 0-2. Jared Young's first major league hit was a double against the Colorado Rockies and their reliever Justin Lawrence, who was on Panama's squad for the 2023 World Baseball Classic. Facing a Panamanian lefty here in Gonzalez. It's ball 1 down and away. Young, 30 years old, out of Prince George, British Columbia. Runner off, 1-2 pitch outside, throw to second, not in time, skips away into center, but Tyler O'Neill will hold there. In a man in scoring position with 2 gone in the 5th. Check that, with 1 gone in the 5th. And a 2-2 count on Young.
Yeah, James Gonzalez kind of just fell asleep on Tyler O'Neill. Look, he does have good sprint speed. Not a huge base stealer. He only had 4 of them last year, or the year before that. You just pick up that big leg kick. The timing stays the same to home. You're just going to take off.
One BC guy trying to drive in another, and a bouncing ball right side. A race to the bag, and Young is able to beat it out. Bethancourt immediately points to the third base dugout. So Mayorga will hold up the hand. And we'll see if Panama challenges this. Take a listen to this hustle.
Yeah, you can see James Gonzalez kind of pirouetting on the mound, lefty falling off, but that ball backing up on him. Took a long time to pick up his pitcher and get the throw off with Young getting down the line. Look at Young bouncing out of the box as well.
Everybody on the top step of that dugout making that save call at the same time. And Jared Young with his first World Baseball Classic hit here in 2026 has himself on as Panama does not challenge. So Otto Lopez, big spot here with runners at the corners and one gone. Lopez 1 for 2. Singled leading off the second, back through the middle. Nearly did the same in the fourth, but a bouncer that re-angled off the mound and went straight to Leo Jimenez as he tries to add to a one-run lead in the bottom of the fifth. And he is drilled. And the bases are loaded with one away.
Lopez taking a long time to get down that line. Ooh, that hair is right off the ankle. That's just a result too. James Gonzalez just trying to make too good of a pitch, knowing Otto Lopez is a tough guy to get that swing and miss against, knowing he has to get outside the strike zone and run on through with one out.
Shares a laugh with Ernie Witt, and he'll head to first. So the bases are loaded now as Russell Martin greets him, with Lopez posting up at first. And here comes Abraham Toro. And Ryan, you noted in his fly out in the fourth inning, he's getting really good swings off here tonight. He powered that double to right center field to drive in the first run of the game for Canada in the second. Scary guy stepping into the box right now, and one of the right-handed bats who can go to work against James Gonzalez.
Now, most of the damage he's done is against righties hitting from the left side. He had a chance to hit right-handed. Similar splits last year with the Red Sox, right or left.
Tense moments for Panama's contingent. Toro can provide some breathing room for Canada with a base hit here. Swings and doesn't get a piece of the 1-0.
Good changeup from James Gonzalez trying to get to that pitch. We're getting good counts to be able to even deploy that pitch. So Toro chasing.
His numbers from 3 years ago, pretty impressive for this Canada squad, and it's back in his favor now at 2-1. Tyler O'Neill the walk, the stolen base. Jared Young the infield single. Otto Lopez plunked. And they are loaded up here in the fifth for Toro. Gonzalez is 2-1. 3 balls and a strike with nowhere to put the Canadian third baseman.
Keeps going with that changeup. Trying to get that chase. All of a sudden, nowhere to put him.
(3-1) to Toro. Popped him up. Infield fly rule in effect as Caballero squeezes it, and 2 gone. And man, that is a big out for James Gonzalez.
That is huge. You have a situation where you get that swing and miss from that changeup and that chase. So you try and make each pitch even better. You get into a 3-1 count with no one to put him. And it's so easy when you've just got seconds to make that decision. Have that mindset, so easy to just kind of give in and throw something in the middle of the plate. But he didn't do it. He went back to that changeup, backed himself, and a huge pitch.
Pitching change for Panama as we move along in the bottom of the fifth.
I'll tell you what, James Gonzalez was on the ropes against Abraham Toro, starting to heat up. Now, we talked about that changeup. He got that chase, so he kept trying to make that pitch even better. He gets into a 3-1 count, and he's able to execute. Sometimes you just got to take that breath, back yourself just a little bit, It's tough, 3-1. It's a tough pitch to command at times. You saw that for pitches before that, and then all of a sudden, Abraham Torre gets that massive out. No one moves.
Well, the new arm into the game for Panama is a guy who could have pitched for either of these teams in the World Baseball Classic. It is Laval, Quebec native Miguel Cienfuegos, the son of 2 Panamanian parents, who inherits the bases loaded and 2 outs, and will go at Bo Naylor to try to keep this game at a 1-run margin here in the bottom of the 5th. The kick in the 1-0, 2 balls and no strikes. We saw Cienfuegos in the first game of this World Baseball Classic for his team. He pitched a scoreless inning against Cuba in that eventual 3-1 loss for Panama. Walked 1, struck out 1, didn't give up anything. 2-0. And down the left field line, this one slicing toward the corner. Big trouble if it's fair, and that is a foul ball.
And again, Bo Naylor, man. I know he hit sub 200 in the big leagues, but man, what an approach, right? So he knows he's getting those 2 breaking balls. He goes 2-0 in that count. Cienfuegos, he knows he's either going to get a breaking ball or something middle of the plate where he's going to try and blow it by him. So all he's thinking is, all right, let it get a little deep, get that extra look at it, and hit that ball into left field.
So 2-1 now on Naylor, just feet away from breaking this thing open in the 5th. Cienfuegos deals, and Naylor on a liner out to short, and there on the other end is Jose Caballero. Canada threatens big but comes up empty. We go to the 6th. It's 2-1. Top half of the 6th inning in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and a new arm into the game for Canada is a guy that his nation is embracing in a way that they did throughout his active playing days, and now comes in the next chapter of his baseball life. James Paxton, Big Maple, is back on a mound. He has not pitched in the major league since 2024, but wanted to be part of this World Baseball Classic push for Canada. And Ryan, a guy you know really, really well.
Yeah, lives in the Seattle area. We spend quite a bit of time in the off season. But you know, for him, this was a special way to finish it off, right? Finish off such an amazing career through a no-hitter in the big leagues as a Seattle Mariner on his home turf in Toronto. But just a stellar career in the big leagues. Well, this is going to be interesting to see. 2 things to look out for James Paxton. Number 1, once he takes a breath and settles in, how's the command going to look, right? It's been a little bit since he's been on the mound in this kind of situation at this game speed. Been throwing bullpens leading into this. And number 2, where's the velocity going to be? He's been in bullpen sessions where he's been 92, 93. We know he can get it up close to triple digits when he was in his prime. Had to deal with some different batch of injuries.
Edmundo Sosa fouls one off. No balls and a strike on him. James Paxton, originally from Ladner, British Columbia. He won the Tip O'Neill Award as Canada's top baseball player back in 2018. This one served up, a high drive deep into left. Back on it, Casey, warning track, and he pulls it in. The last time we saw James Paxton on a major league mound, it was a tough sight. August 11th of 2014, Paxton suffered a partially torn right calf while trying to get over to cover first base with the Boston Red Sox. Walked off the field under his own power, but in September, he announced he would retire at the end of the season. Never came back after that injury. 11 years in the big leagues, career 3.77 ERA, struck out over 1,000 batters, and a ground ball off the bat of Christian Betancourt. Not going to be a shot at 2. And a strong throw from Toro, and Naylor can't handle it. So it's 1st and 2nd now on the error with 1 out.
Yeah, you saw that injury for James Paxton. He had a lot of those type of injuries. He had a comebacker come right back to him, took him out of the game. A lot of arm injuries, but you see this is usually one that Josh Naylor gloves with ease. So sound defensively over there at first base, just unable to grab it.
It's going to be an error charge to Naylor. We've had a few plays in this pool. We've seen it from Colombia. We've seen it from Canada, a little bit from Panama, Puerto Rico, where seemingly routine stuff has gone awry. And a fly ball to shallow left from Castillo will be the second out of the inning.
Tyler, I got a quick story on James Paxton. The first time I ever did TV, I was doing a pre and post game and doing some in-game stuff. I was so nervous, I had to drive down the highway down to San Diego. Now, Felix Hernandez was supposed to pitch that day, right? King Felix. He got taken out with injury, and they said, hey, look, James Paxton's coming up from AAA. And I was like, man, I've done all this Felix prep, you know. And so he was coming up, and someone had mentioned to me, one of the staff members on the staff had mentioned he went from way over the top, you know, throwing mid-90s. He's dropped his arm slot, and straight away I'm thinking to myself, oh, man, really? You know, he's trying to reinvent himself.
Right side grounder, knocked down over there by Julian. He will keep it at least close enough to the infield that it prevents Ramos from scoring, and the bases are loaded with 2 gone. That keeps the lead for Canada.
And, you know, part of the deception with James Paxton was that way over the top, that tilt. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, he's had a few struggles here. So what were they going to drop his arm down? And they said, oh, I think he's throwing harder. Well, he comes out hitting 98s, 99s from a lower arm slot, just getting all kinds of swing and miss. And that's when his career really, really took off. You see that arm slot from him now, and that's something too. Look, keep in mind, when you get back on the field off the couch, it's been a little bit, just trying to find that release point and find that good arm slot, which whatever's natural down there, can be difficult. But he looks good right now. You can see that velocity slowly starting to creep up with some of that adrenaline, maybe a couple 95s, 96s here. But he's on the ropes with loaded bases, trying to get out of this inning.
We're going to get a pinch hitter here in the ageless Ruben Tejada. I'm pretty sure we described him as ageless in 2022 in the qualifiers in Panama City, in 2023 in Taichung for Pool A, and here he is in 2026. Still active last season with the Olmecas de Tabasco in the Mexican League, and he takes ball 1 from James Paxton.
Again, just missing up and away, right? So that some of that timing in his delivery, he's got to get back in the strike zone right here in the tough spot.
Panama's contingent really loud for a fan favorite as Tejada takes strike 1 in the inside corner. A matchup of 2 longtime big leaguers. Paxton deals, and that one just misses inside, 2-1. Look at Ruben Tejada's World Baseball Classic body of work. Terrific numbers, including that qualifier in 2022 at Estadio Rod Carew in Panama City. That one's grooved in there for Paxton.
Nice breaking ball right there. On the ropes, 2-1 count, loaded bases. First time you've seen game action in a long time. He just dumps a nice little breaking ball down and away.
Thing just biting that bottom corner of the zone, outside part of the plate. Paxton deals 2-2, and the count goes full, and the runners will be in motion with 2 away. Biggest pitch of the game coming up. Jose Ramos at third, Christian Bethencourt at second, Miguel Amaya at first. And as the crowd builds, Paxton will step off and compose himself to come home with a 3-2. Big Maple ready. Tejada ready. 3-2 and a flare back up the middle. That one is through the infield. Cut off. The throw is going to come to the plate where Paxton cuts it off, and now he throws it away. 2 are home. Panama's in the lead, and it's second and third with 2 gone.
Wow, Ruben Tejada coming in to pinch hit. 3-2, loaded bases. And make something happen.
What a chaotic play.
Right, and you see James Paxton again just kind of stunned, sees the ball coming at him. And so naturally, you know, your instincts are like, you know, I'm going to grab this ball because he's supposed to be backing up behind home plate. He'll be the first to tell you that too, but that ball's coming at you instinctively, just tries to grab that and cut it off and make the relay. And I'm telling you right now, Panama are in business here, 3-2. Again, this is one of these things we talk about with this Canadian team, right? This bullpen. This can be the weak link because you do have to rely on guys who, like James Paxton's had a great career, but has been a little bit since he's been on the mound. He looks calm. He was making pitches, but just like that, the game can speed up a little bit when it's been a while.
Man, and that is the skill set that kept Ruben Tejada in the big leagues for so long. He just always gives you a battle at the plate, as you see Adam Macko, the Blue Jays prospect, working in the right field bullpen.
Right, he laid off some good pitches too, man. That was some borderline pitches, some good breaking ball, fastball, hitting that 95. Yeah, you see Pax just kind of caught in between no man's land right there. Again, stunned, waiting for that ball, something to happen. All of a sudden, he's got Lopez firing the ball right at him, trying to get the ball to home plate.
And Ryan, you think about the catching error, the missed catch error by Josh Naylor that would have been and should have been the second out of the inning, and instead extended this thing. 2 errors in this inning now. And Enrique Bradfield Jr. trying to add to it. A swing and a miss there. It's 1-1. You know, and the other thing, you watch that replay and you wonder if Paxton is backing up at home plate, does that throw get Christian Bethancourt?
Right.
He was still a decent ways away from home. That was a pretty good throw from Otto Lopez.
Yeah, it's a good point. And look, Panama, we know how aggressive they're pressing right now, right? Especially after coming off that loss last night, some of those missed opportunities. So they get something in play with 2 outs, loaded bases. Yeah, they're going to try and push the issue, but you're right, Tyler. If that throw gets made straight to home without Pax being caught in the middle.
2-1, tough play. Bradfield with the bunt. Everybody's safe, and another run's home.
80 grade speed can kill you in so many ways, and the second bunt single of the day for Enrique Bradfield brings home the 4th run of the night for Panama.
Yeah, you had 0 chance of making this play. And probably a routine out for guys who have about half the speed that Bradfield has, but you got no chance on that. It doesn't get any easier with Jose Caballero, who feasts off these moments.
All 3 runs in this inning now unearned with the errors. And Panama has broken through with a 4-2 lead. And tough play for Edouard Julien regardless. That stumble made it an impossibility. But man, Enrique Bradfield Jr., he becomes so much more dangerous because he can lay a solid bunt down. And now a conversation between Caballero and home plate umpire Nestor Cejan. Ryan, you highlighted this. Caballero, he's good at this.
Right, this is what he does. He gets in your head. He's not going to make eye contact. Part of the deal, the hitter has to make eye contact before a certain point in that pitch clock. You're like, enough.
And man, you gotta love a 33-year-old manager in Jose Mayorga racing out to be the guy to have this conversation. Right. Mayorga is just such a bright young managerial talent. He works in the Toronto Blue Jays organization. He spent last season with the High A Vancouver Canadians. And so he's got the experience in this role. This is the last pitch to Caballero.
He just missed it, and then and you can see how he's looking down?
Yeah.
He's not going to look up, make eye contact, and they're all over it.
Some nervy moments for the folks in red, white, and black here tonight. as Panama has taken the lead. Runner off and a stolen base for Bradfield. 80-grade speed is pretty dang fun to watch. Second steal of the day for Bradfield. He has been a terror at the top of the order for Panama tonight. What a fun player. So second and third now with 2 gone. Pitch number 25 from Paxton is fouled away. Panama in its first 2 games combined scored 4 runs. They have matched that total here. And after the emotional devastation of the walk-off loss last night, they are out in front over midway through this game. Caballero stays alive.
Yeah, this game's far from over. Those 6th innings, still plenty of time with this type of offense. And how veteran they are, how patient they will be, especially with that Panamanian bullpen beat up from last night. That's what Puerto Rico did last night. They put Baldonado on the ropes.
1-2 bounced in. Naylor is able to keep it close. Great job by Bo Naylor to just get enough of that and deflect it in the direction of the base runner at third, Ruben Tejada.
And look at the pitch count too, 27. Again, I keep going back to this. The fact that you haven't pitched and you're not in that same, call it spring training, getting ready for a season shape. You know, Pax was just throwing bullpens back home. I'm approaching that 30 pitches, man. You can be not only physically exhausted, but mentally as well. He's going to make a big pitch right here, 2-2.
On the way. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jose Mayorga's team's bats have finally arrived. As many hits with runners in scoring position tonight as in their first 15 such situations. 3-2. Caballero aiming for another one, sends it to left, but Owen Casey is there, and that will retire the side. 2 errors in the inning, 3 unearned runs for Panama in the lead to the visitors. Work to do for Canada as we head to the bottom of the 6th.
Man,
the top half of the 6th was a defensive struggle for Canada. 2 errors that led to 3 unearned runs for Panama, and tonight's visiting team has the lead for the first time at 4-2.
Yeah, if there's one team though that when you look at this 4-2, so we get just past midway of this game, that can grind down, down. That's his Canadian team, but not off to a good start. Owen Casey, the young hitter at the bottom of this lineup, swinging at that first pitch.
Really feel for James Paxton, the beloved veteran sitting in that first base dugout. That 1,000-yard stare as Miguel Cienfuegos back on for another inning of work. But I mean, James Paxton, he threw well, did enough work to get out of that inning, but the defense just not executing as Denzel Clark takes ball 1 inside.
Yeah, it's tough, man. When you have to come back, and like I said, it's been a while. You haven't had a chance to pitch in any. He did obviously pitch in a few games leading into this.
Clark Tapper, he's also got great speed. Jimenez throw not in time, is in time to get him.
See Ruben Tejada still out there, but hey, this is big for Panama, right? Anytime you have a little bit of an offensive outburst and you start coming up with some big hits, we saw the graphic with runners in scoring position finally. You got to come back out for this Panamanian defense and shut down this Canadian offense as quick as you can and keep that momentum on your side. Such a big deal.
That's Ruben Tejada at second base. Leo Jimenez departing. Miguel Cienfuegos, that was just the 4th pitch of the inning. That first one to Edouard Julien, so 2 outs on his first 3. He's only thrown 7 pitches. Now 8. And he's nearly through an inning in the 3rd. Edouard Julien trying to get something going with 2 outs for Canada here in the 6th.
That's the guy who really struggles with the breaking ball, especially left on left.
pitch on the outside part of the plate there, and that freezes Julian for a called strike 3. Canada gone quickly and quietly in the 6th. We'll go to the top of the 7th. Panama in business with a 4-2 lead. It is so hard to say goodbye to a friend, and for so many in Canada, Jim Baba was so much that and more. The longtime executive director of Baseball Canada from 2000 to 2021. He passed away last September after a lengthy battle with illness, and Jim, who was 69 years old, was so instrumental in the continued growth and success of baseball in Canada, and just one of the all-time great human beings that you meet in this sport or any other. That was a devastating loss to the international baseball family, and our thoughts are with Jim's kids and those he left behind, including some of his really good friends like Ernie Witt and Greg Hamilton in the center of your screen, and the rest of this Baseball Canada staff. Leo Bernal leading things off here in the top half of the 7th inning with his team out in front 4-2. And James Paxton, maybe shockingly, is back out there for Canada as the count goes even on Bernal. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ryan, another thing that really looms large in this game right now as Bernal fouls it at the plate. Canada has already left 8 men on base, and that 6th inning, not a lot of competitive work at the plate.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked by that 6th inning, right? You have that situation where, you know, a couple defensive mishaps, game speeds up, all of a sudden Panama's back in business, puts up a 3 spot.
Swing and a miss by Bernal, out number 1.
And you have to get some base runners, you have to generate some traffic, and this is a lineup that can do that, that can be patient. And you look at this, if Canada wins, Panama cannot advance, and then it's them and Colombia trying to battle it out, see who can not get relegated where they have to qualify. If Panama wins and they are in business right now, they're still eligible to get through this round.
And this game, as Ryan noted, certainly very far from over. 1 ball, no strike count on Jose Ramos, who has been aboard on a couple of walks tonight. Led off the 6th inning with the walk against Paxton. Came around to score the first of Panama's 3 runs to take this 4-2 lead. Ryan Roland Smith fans. Ramos fouls that one off.
I'm pretty sure he has fonder memories of James Paxton in a Mariners uniform than me, put it that way.
Here's what's coming up tomorrow and the next couple of days following. 2 monster showdowns tomorrow. Colombia and Panama, as Ryan noted, could be essentially a play-in game for the 2029 World Baseball Classic to avoid relegation. Cuba and Puerto Rico will come up in the nightcap. But a lot of nervous energy in this ballpark right now for Canada's loyal supporters as a called strike 3 will sit down Ramos. And man, James Paxton looking great in his 2nd inning of work.
Yeah, we're a little surprised he was back out there throwing nearly 30 pitches in that 1 inning of work. Usually that's kind of that threshold. We saw him wrap up that elbow. He's back out there and he looks way sharper right now in the 7th inning.
Big hack and foul from Edmundo Sosa. Sosa was aboard on a fielder's choice and scored Panama's first run back in the 4th.
Is that 95?
You said to James Paxton the other day, I think you can get it up 95. And he goes, you think so? 1-1, big cut and miss. Man, vintage James Paxton so far in this inning. He's got Sosa down to a 2-strike count, looking to cut down the side on strikeouts here in the 7th. Big Maple's 1-2 pitch, and a fly ball in the air to left. This one tracking away from Casey, and he'll play it on a hop. Sosa, big turnaround first. He'll hold there, and a 2-out single keeps the inning going for Panama.
They're cooking offensively in this game against Canada.
Blue Jays prospect Adam Macko throwing once more in that bullpen for Canada. Another guy with a fascinating backstory that we'll get into when he enters this game. As Christian Bethencourt will try to extend the 7th inning. He takes ball 1 here. Bethencourt, in his early days, regarded as one of the best catching talents among prospects in minor league baseball. Had a short-lived conversion and comeback to the big leagues as a relief pitcher in 2017 with the San Diego Padres. Paxton deals. 2 balls and a strike. Bethencourt comes up empty on 2-1. And the count even now. James Paxton coming up on 50 pitches. Here his first real competitive action since late 2024.
A good changeup. Seen the breaker ball, seen 95. I asked him too, I said, if any teams, you know, reach out and say, hey, you want to come to spring training? He said, no, I'm done. Not happening.
The swan song of his career comes on the international stage as a foul ball back up onto the roof here. Here on Bithorn.
Yeah, he's now a father at home. He's trying to get back in the game with some mental skills coaching. Something he's very passionate about.
Ready to go with a 2-2 to Bethencourt. We'll do it again. Knocked over a thankfully empty beer bat sitting on the padding behind home plate with some Canadian fans. And now Ernie Witt out from that first base dugout in the middle of this count. And that looks like that's going to be it for James Paxton. Ernie Witt signaling to the bullpen on the 49th pitch. And an important thing to keep in mind, because 50-plus pitches requires 4 days rest. Pitching change. Adam Macko coming on. All right, Ryan, well, not often do you see a mid-count pitching change, but in the World Baseball Classic, things are different. A conversation between Ernie Witt and James Paxton. That was pitch number 49, his last one thrown. And if he would have touched 50, he's out for the remainder of this opening round with 4 days of mandatory rest. So instead, he gives way to Adam Macko. And Macko, his first pitch, is swatted into left field by Christian Bethencourt.
Yeah, and keep in mind, too, look, again, going back to what we talked to Ernie Witt about on that workout day, right? You do have those restrictions, Macko being one of them, with some of these affiliated guys. James Paxton is not with the team. So he's looking at that saying 49 pitches, heavy workload, but you know what? I need to stockpile the guys that I can actually lean on, that I don't have those restrictions, plus the fact that, you know, the pitch counts and everything else. So it makes total sense, but he explained it to him as he walked off the mound. James Paxton said, all right, let's go.
Not to mention, Canada's off again tomorrow, so James Paxton won't miss anything. That's his mandatory rest day at 49 pitches, so he's available for Puerto Rico on Tuesday and Cuba on Wednesday.
Those games are going to be huge. You've got Canada, Puerto Rico still, Canada, Cuba. There's some big matchups for Ernie Witt. He's going to need a full bullpen.
Runner breaking for third, and a great job over there by Abraham Toro to get his body in front of that skipping throw and keep it close. But on the wild pitch, two men now in scoring position.
Yeah, and this is what we forecasted, right, with this Panamanian team. We talked about the defense. There's been a few mishaps, but being aggressive on the bases too. This is what they're going to need to do if they move forward. A good job right there from Abraham Toro, like you said, Tyler. Stopping that 5th run.
Healthy lead away from third for Sosa. A foul ball that gets Bo Naylor. Trying to walk that off.
Well, they've got 9 outs remaining. Make something happen. This Canadian team. Otherwise, it's going to create all kinds of chaos if Panama's able to hang on to this one. And think about this. Look, I hate going back into last night. Yeah, obviously, it was a magical night, don't get me wrong, for everyone here in Puerto Rico and that Puerto Rican team. Could you imagine that Panama was able to hold on to that lead last night and now all of a sudden be sitting here with a 4-2 lead over Canada? They would be sitting pretty. That would create all kinds of upset here in Pool A.
Mako, the Blue Jays prospect, you got to look at his numbers a moment ago. Adam Mako is aiming to be the first Slovakian-born major leaguer since Elmer Valo, who played in the big leagues from 1940 to 1961. He was born in Bratislava. His family immigrated to Ireland and then to Alberta. He actually first learned baseball in Slovakia. Played it a little bit in Ireland, but then got to the level of a pro ball player in Canada. He was a 7th round pick of the Seattle Mariners in 2019. Not a whole lot of big time prospects coming out of Bratislava, but the game continues to grow. Slovakia takes part in European competitions. 2-2 popped up. That'll get out of play.
He's got a good arm. Look at the scouting grades. See that curveball, 55. And not to mention, too, if you're Mako, you've got James Paxton in that dugout to lean on, Jameson Tyon, Soroka.
Good take there by Luis Castillo, and the count is full. Three balls and 2 strikes. Edmundo Sosa at third base. Christian Bethencourt at second. Adam Mako trying to keep this thing a 2-run game. And the lefty deals. That one's fouled on the left field line.
And going after him too. He's got that open base. 3-2 count. Castillo's been swinging it. We got a Meyer on deck. He went right after him, back inside the strike zone. Fastball middle in. Castillo's all over that pitch. So he goes back inside the strike zone, tries to get that chase with the slider down and away, down and in.
Here comes the 3-2. Called strike 3. Big out for Canada to keep this thing at a 2-run margin. Paxton and Mako combined to strike out the side. It's stretch time in San Juan. And Panama leads Canada 4-2. Ryan, Canada's offense yesterday erupting for 8 runs in World Baseball Classic opening win over Colombia. Today, it has not quite been the same. The top 3 hitters in the lineup are combined 0 for 7. And Josh Naylor, the Mariners star, will lead things off. Naylor out of the 2 spot, then Tyler O'Neill and Jared Young. One thing that stands out in that box score as well, just 2 walks for Canada today. They walked 7 times yesterday in that win over Colombia.
That's what you're anticipating, some better at-bats. You look at Cienfuegos, he's only thrown 12 pitches. He's been out there for an inning plus now. Another quick out, 2 pitches. Gets that 5th out. I mean, that's what we're talking about with this Canadian team. More of that experience, more of that veteran presence, guys who have played in the big leagues for a long time, but getting really aggressive here in the 6th and 7th. Maybe they're pressing a little bit too. After that rough inning where they gave up the 3 spot to Panama.
And man, the drama of Miguel Cienfuegos being the guy to do it. A Canadian who is listed on this team's provisional roster for the World Baseball Classic, but ended up being selected for Panama's squad. As we noted, the son of 2 Panamanian parents. Really good work by him, by James Gonzalez, and Jaime Perea very steady into the 4th. Tyler O'Neill has walked twice, stolen a base tonight.
Yeah, and the other part of this is too, look, this Canadian team's doing Panama and Cienfuegos some massive favors because obviously he's left-handed. He's got that power arm, so he gets to face all those lefties besides Tyler O'Neill. And on top of that too, look, Panama's pitching has been pretty depleted, right? Last night, They got pushed to the brink. That Baldonado got pushed pretty hard as well. And so they're really limited. So you're doing him favors when you're looking at that pitch count, just 17 pitches. You're going to make him work.
That's a great point. This is a very taxed bullpen as O'Neill spoils one back into the screen. The names not available tonight, 6 of them based on the pitch count restrictions or the consecutive days mandatory rest. Javi Guerra.
I mean, look at that. Other guys who are sitting this one out.
Good at bat here from Tyler O'Neill. This is the type of veteran at bat Canada's looking for right now to try to amp up the energy for that offense and also get the pitch count a little bit more extended for Cienfuegos.
Right, and look, you know, get your A swing off. You see something middle up, have at it. If not, make him work.
3-2 is a called strike 3. Tyler O'Neill does not agree with it, but he is gone for the second out of the 7th.
Man, that's a big pitch in a big situation. Cienfuegos, I know he's been good. He's been getting some quick outs, but you got a situation 3-2 with Tyler O'Neill with the heart of that lineup coming up. What do you do? Just freeze him. Tyler O'Neill's looking for something out over the plate. You can tell by his reaction. No way he's going to get a swing off.
So 2 gone, bases empty for Jared Young. His first hit of this classic and his first start of the classic came in his last trip to the plate. Reached on the infield single on the deep grounder to first. 1 for 3 today for the DH. One is in tight. 2 balls and a strike. Four runs on 9 hits and an error for Panama. 2 runs on 6 hits and 3 errors in this game for Canada. 2-2 on Young. Cienfuegos deals and strikes out 2 of the 3 he sees in the 7th. He's got 3 Ks through 2 1/3, and he is keeping Panama out in front. 4-2 lead as we go to the 8th.
Charlie, see Miguel Tejada, Ruben Tejada on the on-deck circle. Going back to that pitch sequence, this at bat, look, James Paxton, he was making some pitches, good pitches on the inner half of the plate. On the outer half of the plate with that little breaking ball. But look at this, man, staying up the middle, not trying to do a whole lot. 3-2 count, right back up the middle. I mean, what an inning that was for this Panamanian team, putting up a 3 spot.
That was in the top of the 6th for Panama. Gave this team the lead. They still hold to this point as we enter the 8th. Miguel Amaya leading things off against the new arm into the game for Canada. It's Rob Zastryzny of the Milwaukee Brewers. Out of Edmonton. Remember the 2023 WBC team made a start as an opener against Mexico. Former 2nd-round pick of the Chicago Cubs back in 2013, the 41st overall pick. He was on that Cubs World Series team in 2016. Minor out on a hop. Nice pick by Otto Lopez and a strong throw. Gets Amaya 1 away.
All these lefties coming out of the bullpen. Obviously, James Paxton is retired now, but really good career. And you got Zastryzny, 108 off the bat, by the way. Yeah, had a nice career so far. 20 for 25 with the Brewers. 26 games, 2.5 ERA. Not going to blow you away, just going to have a little bit of a deception. There's you and me, Tyler, when this is all said and done.
I don't know how old that Braves hat was. My guy on the left hat on.
That's you and me coming back for the Puerto Rican winter ball.
That'll be us. We'll be hanging out here.
That's you on the left, by the way.
If I could grow that head of lettuce, I would do it in a heartbeat.
All those cans are mine, by the way.
There's nothing better than the World Baseball Classic. You can imagine doing anything else on a Sunday night in March that's more fun than those two guys are having right now. I would like to know what it is. No balls and 2 strikes.
Struggle straight at the moment.
Those
Matter
two,
of fact, we had a home run ball.
they caught the home run ball.
Very
for
flag right there.
Owen Casey yesterday in that flag. Or at least it made contact with the flag. I don't know if they made the catch in the flag, but the flag served to help. We would love to see something similar here today as Ruben Tejada, what a surprise, working a good at bat. It's 2-2 as he's back from 0-2. Strisny deals. Here it was yesterday.
Yeah, old man on the left doing his best to help out with that flag. By the way, I love the M-frame tan line on the face too. Look at that on the right. Get some sun.
Ground ball over to third where Abraham Toro gets the out at first.
It is hot down here, though.
It is, man.
It's not
and
the Canadian sun, put it that way.
Today, you and I walked outside. We went between games to go get some food. The sun, it was like we were on the surface of the sun today. It was so hot this afternoon. But man, like, imagine doing something this fun in just a week in March, hanging out at a beautiful ballpark in an incredible city on this gorgeous island. I mean, this is in 2023, the Classic branded the Festival of Baseball, and that's what it is. That's the level of joy that is present in this ballpark and the other 3 host sites, Titan Park in Houston, Marlins Park, and Lone Depot Park, I should say, in Miami, and the Tokyo Dome in Japan. Here at a WBC game, it is a good day or a good night. It's been a good night to this point for Enrique Bradfield Jr., who's got a 3-hit night to go along with a pair of stolen bases, 2 bunt singles, a budding superstar in the Baltimore Orioles organization, just continuing the work he did in the Arizona Fall League last autumn, and he's on again with 2 outs here in the 8th.
Yeah, look, he's laid down the bunt a couple times tonight, but he can swing it. Tyler, I've said this to you off air, especially a couple times. How do you not have him at the leadoff spot kicking off this tournament? He wasn't at the top of the lineup in game 1.
Jose Caballero down the left field line. Watch Bradfield run. Already midway between second and third. He's going to get the wave home. Throw cut off by Lopez. Into the plate. Oh, wow. My goodness. What a throw by Otto Lopez. And Bradfield is out at home. Wow. You will never see a better relay than that. And Canada keeps it at a 2-run game. If you're a Miami Marlins fan, you're going to get a chance to watch 2 guys team up on your squad who just executed quite possibly the greatest relay I have ever seen in my life. Owen Casey to Otto Lopez with an absolute 10 out of 10 throw to cut down one of the fastest men in baseball at the plate, trying to extend this lead to 3 runs.
Yeah, you get that speed coming around third base, and it's easy to think, well, you know what, I'm potentially going to give up on this, just make a good throw and see what happens. But man, the length of that throw too, he was deep, well past the cut of the grass there in the infield, and just threw an absolute bullet on the money to Bo Naylor.
It took 10 seconds for Bradfield to get from first to home. And Otto Lopez leading things off with a tapper against the new arm into the game, Humberto Mejia. And he is retired on 1 pitch.
And you get this good view of this. Bradfield just seeming around. Remember, there's 2 outs, right? So he's just taking off regardless. He knows he's thinking nothing but, I'm going home. Well, and then he sees a ball in front of him, Bo Naylor laying the tag down. What a throw on the money. Huge third out.
Man, and look at Bradfield's face as he got tagged out, looked up with a smile like, wait a minute, how did that happen? Enrique Bradfield Jr., he has been a joy to watch tonight as Humberto Mejia takes over, the Chunichi Dragons reliever.
Now, we've seen Humberto Mejia start games in this World Baseball Classic. I guarantee you he was probably set to potentially start one of these games as this week went on, but you've got Canada right here where you want him up by 2. Have Mejia finish this one off.
I will not stop thinking about that relay for some time.
So good.
80 grade speed, Enrique Bradfield Jr. speed. I mean, that's Ricky Henderson speed. That is Billy Hamilton, Terrence Gore speed. The fastest guys you've ever seen on a baseball field, that's Enrique Bradfield Jr.'s wheels. You have to be absolutely perfect to get him on that throw. Both of them. Casey to Lopez, Lopez with the transfer, and Bo Naylor, a great job to receive and tag. And if you're Bradfield, all you can do is sort of tip the cap as a swing and a miss. Sets down Abraham Toro, 2 gone in the 8th. And Ryan, Canada has not put a man on since Otto Lopez was hit by a pitch with 1 out in the 5th.
Yeah, they're going quiet, and a couple things. We'll talk about the at-bats, right? But at the same time, this Panamanian team, as they're starting to take a breath, they're starting to fill up the strike zone much better in these later innings.
So here is Bo Naylor. Takes ball 1. Bo is 1 for 3 tonight. A single and a run scored in the 4th. That gave Canada the lead back at 2-1, but Panama turned it around with a 3 spot in the top of the 6th. Naylor shoots one into left center field, a base hit.
He's one of the most junior members of this lineup, Owen Casey, big time prospect of the Miami Marlins. This is where Humberto Mejia's got to be careful. Owen Casey, you saw him get that mistake in that first game. He likes to chase. You got to make your pitches and get him outside the strike zone.
And Owen Casey, who yesterday showcased one of his best skill sets in that power bat. Certainly possesses the ability to leave the yard as he did. A little over 24 hours ago. And the approach here from Mejia is going to be interesting. Naylor with that knock, providing a little bit of life for Canada in the 8th. Here's the 1-0. And Casey drives it high and deep to center. Bradfield back, warning track, and that's over his head and off the wall. Naylor rounds 3rd. Bo will score, and this is a 1-run game with Casey in scoring position in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, Tyler, Owen Casey's been so aggressive. He's been jumping on mistakes. I just said, Humberto Mejia, if you are going to challenge Owen Casey, you better be very confident knowing you can make those pitches. You've got to get him outside the strike zone. This ball was crushed. And again, in this ballpark, the way it plays, 400 feet later, and all of a sudden, Team Canada are in business.
Owen Casey winning a couple of crucial battles with Enrique Bradfield Jr. here in the 8th. And a visit to talk things over with Mejia. For Bradfield, that is an extremely difficult ball to track down. 99% of outfielders are not even going to be in a position to make a catch on a ball like that, but it kind of tailed back over him at the last second. Really good job recovering as he holds Casey to a double, but Bo Naylor motoring with 2 outs. And we are going to get a pinch hitter here for Canada in the person of Tyler Black.
This ball scorched in the center field. You said it too. That's so tough. The ball that's got, you mentioned that, some of that tail to it where it's going over your shoulder. You have to recorrect yourself as it goes right straight over that shoulder, but the Moose is liking it.
It's got to be an awkward conversation between those two guys. The Moose right in front of the guy in the Panama jersey. And here is Tyler Black. Black in the Milwaukee Brewers organization. Played 23 games in the big leagues over the last 2 seasons. 71 games last year between rookie ball and AAA. Trying to tie this game or more here in the 8th.
Yeah, for Tyler Black, you mentioned 25 years old, can handle the fastball. The breaking ball is where he really struggles. Working here with that open base. Cannot give in this situation. You can get stake middle of the plate and get crushed. Got to make that pitch with that breaking ball.
In tight at 93, 2-1. Tyler Black, with 2 outs and runners in scoring position in the minor leagues this year, hit .364. He's in that spot right here. 2-1 from Mejia. Big cut and miss, 2-2.
Man, got a pitch right down the middle, straight. Press that reset button. Look for something up.
Tyler Black yesterday 0 for 4 with a walk, a stolen base, and a run scored. And the biggest pitch of the night coming from Mejia. Black fouls it away.
You got a 2-2 count, open base. A guy who struggles with breaking balls. Mejia's not quite comfortable. He's not confident with that breaking ball. You can tell after that mistake to Owen Casey. So we got to take that breath. Just execute that pitch.
2-2. And Black swings and misses. And Panama holds on to the lead going to the 9th. Canada adds 1 and draws within 1. Through 8, it's 4-3. Well, game number 6 in Pool A play has provided Panama with a chance to atone and redeem what happened last night in a loss by this very score to the host squad, Puerto Rico, as we head to the top half of the 9th inning. And a new arm into the game for Canada, Matt Wilkinson, will face 3, 4, and 5. Panama in search of its first win of 2026 here in the Classic. 2 balls and no strikes on Leo Bernal out of the 3 spot. Wilkinson in the Cleveland organization last season with a high A Lake County Captains, primarily in a starting role. Deals his first strike here. Defensive changes for Canada. Tyler O'Neill moves to center field, Owen Casey to right, and Tyler Black, who came into the game in place of Denzel Clark as the pinch hitter, now in left. And it is 3-1 on the leadoff man, Bernal. Leo Bernal wanted that one. Count goes full. And this game, like virtually every game we've had so far, has turned into a really, really fun one tonight. Especially if you're not stressing through the outcome of it. If you can just enjoy this, if you're not invested in Panama or Canada, it's probably a little bit more fun for you. As the strikeout of Bernal is out number 1 in the 9th.
And that's 90 miles per hour at the top of the strike zone. Plays up though. Gets on you quick. And Matt Wilkinson with another epic nickname, the Tugboat, Tyler. I love it.
He took the baseball internet by storm last year. First 5 pro starts for Wilkinson, who is a 10th rounder in 2023 out of Central Arizona College. He had a 0.35 ERA and 46 strikeouts. And he got that nickname at the age of 12 while he was playing in the Little League World Series. His dad's best friend gave it to him because Wilkinson was running so slowly around the bases that he thought he resembled a slow-moving tugboat. As you look at the minor league strikeout leaders, Wilkinson third in all of MILB. Tugboat's a good one.
It's a good one.
It's a really good one.
Like if you're out there punching tickets at the top of strikeout list, that's a good one. You know what I mean? You can take it.
He doesn't need to run the bases anymore. He's a pro pitcher now. 2 balls and 2 strikes after the swing and miss. Jose Ram.
Good fastball command. He's got that sort of upshoot to it, right? So he's 6 foot. He's in the lower arm slot, and that ball can kind of jump on you, get to the top of the strike zone. That's why he's seeing that those barrels go underneath that baseball. Plays up just a little bit more. You can see him trying to get to the top of that strike zone every single pitch as well.
The rain has started again here in the 9th. They're still having fun in the bleachers. And Tugboat's got his second strikeout. He's a strikeout merchant. Why wouldn't he? And man, he is feeling himself.
Yeah, he is, man. He's fired up. He's pitching in. He's pitching up. He's got that conviction. And look, he's ceiling. If you're going to project him and you look at 6'0", and you know he's heavy, 270 pounds. He's listed. Look at him. But the ceiling's high because you know he can pitch out of the bullpen. Because we're going to come off right now here in the top of the 9th with 2 outs. Maybe leaving the field. Got some rain coming in.
And the tarp is coming out in San Juan. With the rain dumping down. In a 1-run ball game, and Ryan, this changes a lot. We had a rain delay last night of 27 minutes in that eventual walk-off win for Puerto Rico, and the team that responds to the delay better has a very good chance of winning this game. If it's Canada,
for sure, it can be a momentum grabber or a momentum killer, that's for sure. And again, Panama, they're up by a run. Showed that graphic last night against Puerto Rico, looking for the biggest upset. And this is another potential upset here with Team Canada, with this team. Excuse me, with this lineup. Now we have to sit this out. Wait for this rain to pass.
Man, this is probably the heaviest rain that we have seen in our first 3 days here in San Juan. And we were hoping that this would hold off until after this game was over. But instead, our second rain delay of the night, our 3rd of the World Baseball Classic. The first 20 years of the Classic only had 2 rain delays, period. Now we got 3 over the last 24 hours or so. But here's where things sit in Pool A and what is at stake tonight between these 2 teams. Canada at 1-0 with the win yesterday over Colombia, looking to make this a 3-horse race. If Canada were able to rally and win, Panama would be eliminated like Colombia was today. But if Panama can hang on to this 4-3 lead, that team would stay alive in its pursuit of its first trip to the quarterfinal. And we will keep you updated on the situation from here in San Juan. But for now, if you're a USA Baseball fan, you got to like what we got coming up next. A recap of the 2017 World Baseball Classic. Spoiler alert, the United States won that 2017 Classic, their lone title, as we are up in our broadcast booth and here on Bithorn Stadium. Tyler Mon, Ryan Rowland-Smith. This game, Ryan, all changed in the 6th inning when the defense kind of went awry for Canada and Panama took control.
Yeah, rare miscue right there from Josh Naylor, who's so sound over there at first base. And then this right here, look, James Paxton just kind of getting caught in the middle right there, the ball up the middle. And look at that Bradfield, the game he's having, showing off that speed, creating all kinds of havoc in this infield. That game sped up, all of a sudden Panama in a good spot. But we saw this last night. They had the rain delay late in the game against Puerto Rico. Sometimes you talk about some of the momentum shift. I guarantee you Panama sitting here going, hey, can we just keep this going? We're going to put our foot on the throat of Team Canada. They got 3 outs to go.
Well, Ryan, we talked so much about the defensive shortcomings in the 6th inning for Canada, but they saved a run from being added to that deficit in the 8th inning with one of the most incredible relays you will ever see to cut down the fleet-footed Enrique Bradfield at the plate. But it all comes down to getting the final 3 outs for Jose Mayorga and his team, because they, with a loss, would be eliminated from contention to move on, and they just went through this last night.
Yeah, I think what the difference is to last night, I think, look, Humberto Mejia, who threw that 8th inning, gave up a run, but he's an experienced arm. He's pitching over in the MPB. He's pitching out of the bullpen now. He was a starter. I think he was earmarked to be, more of either a bridge guy or start one of these games later on in the tournament. They didn't have, in my opinion, have him as an option last night. They were exhausted on the pitching side. Puerto Rico took advantage of that, wore him down, got him in the spot where they tied that game up, and eventually walked it off. I think Panama are in a way better spot right now to try and get these last 3 outs.
Well, here is our situation in the top half of the 9th inning. We got 2 gone. Leo Bernal and Jose Ramos both striking out against Matt Wilkinson. Tugboat doing what he does, racking up a couple of Ks to start the inning. So it'll be Edmundo Sosa at the plate when we resume, with Canada out in the field. And for this large contingent of Canadian fans who have turned out for this game, they will have an opportunity in the bottom of the 9th with the top of the order. It'll be Julien, Josh Naylor, and O'Neill to get things going when we go to the bottom half of 9. And Canada set to take the field, and they will turn to their own Logan Allen, who is in a Logan Allen off before the game today, and a post-national anthem stare down with Panama's Logan Allen. And they'll take over from Matt Wilkinson here in the 9th.
Yeah, Matt Wilkinson, the tugboat, he looked dominant getting those first couple of outs.
Yeah, kind of a bummer to not get to see him come back after the delay. This was that pregame standoff. If your name is Logan Allen, you're not leaving the warning track.
Yeah, that's where the helmet came from. There we go. And then they resorted to rock, paper, scissors. Now, they used to know each other, obviously not related. But they become friendly, saying, hey, you're Logan Allen, I'm Logan Allen, both left-handed.
Did we just become best friends?
Yeah. Yep. Hey, let's do a standoff. Let's do it. Logan Allen off.
Canada's Logan Allen spent 2025 in the Korea Baseball Organization with the NC Dinos. He pitched 32 games, made 31 starts. Check that, made 21 starts. And the ERA north of 4.5. That's a pretty offense-heavy league as well. And making his World Baseball Classic debut, formerly an 8th-round pick of the Boston Red Sox back in 2015. Spent some time in the San Diego Padres organization, then he was traded to the Cleveland Guardians, but there's the arsenal for this left-hander.
Yeah, and again, it gets confusing when you get 2 Logan Allen's left hand on 2 different teams. But you look at the fastball, it sits in the low 90s. He's got some time in the big leagues, had some time in Korea. But in a big spot right here, trying to get that last out, get his team back to the offensive side and scratch across at least a run in this game.
So here we go. It has been a long night for these 2 teams. We did not get this game started until 8 o'clock. An hour rain delay to precede first pitch in this game. Logan Allen will try to get the final out of the top half of the 9th and then send it to the top of Canada's lineup in the bottom half. And for Panama, a chance at redemption after blowing a 1-run lead in the 9th and a 1-run lead in the 10th on the way to a walk-off loss to host Puerto Rico last night.
You get through Edmundo Sosa, then this Canadian team has the top of the order. You got Julien, Josh Naylor, Tyler O'Neill due up.
So here we go. Back to it at exactly 11:30 in the evening. The first pitch is there for a strike from Logan Allen to Edmundo Sosa. Sosa tonight is 1 for 4. And a tapper right side of the infield. Allen springs to it, and the throw to first
is there and handled by Naylor. A nice job by Josh Naylor on the backside of that play, and we go to the bottom of the ninth. Top of the order for Canada, trying to rally on a Sunday night. To the bottom of the ninth we go. It was in the bottom of the 10th last night that Puerto Rico's Darryl Arnaiz sank the hopes of this Panama squad for a monumental upset in Pool A of the 2026 World Baseball Classic. And tonight, Canada will try to do the same. It's the top third of the order for this squad, as Edouard Julien will lead things off, and he'll be the first man in to get a look at Dario Agrazal. From Agua Dulce, pitched last year with the Leones del Yucatan in the Mexican League. Former major leaguer with the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2019.
And tough assignment too. You got the top of this order. Josh Naylor on deck. Got to throw strikes.
And the first one is not a strike. Jonathan Arauz takes over at second base in place of Ruben Tejada, whose night has come to a close. 2-0.
And off to a good start. And again, I was talking about this last inning, Humberto Mejia. I think the rain knocked him out. We would like to see him throw that 8th and 9th. He can obviously throw multiple innings. But this is where you get stretched right here if you're Panama. Relying heavily on the depth of this bullpen.
2-1. Top of the zone.
Second guessing that pitch. Looked like it was a little above the strike zone. You can see Agrazal, it's going to be 90-92. Nothing overpowering.
Here comes his 2-1 pitch, and that nearly drills Julien, and it's 3 balls and a strike. And Ryan, you just know that there are a lot of guys in that third base dugout with the thought in the backs of their minds of what happened last night.
Yeah, 100%. That, not to mention the fact now you're down 3-1 in this count. And the guy you're 50-50 on, if he can close this game out. Blood pressure's through the roof right now. Just praying for outs.
Tense times for Canada's large contingent here in San Juan. And the 3-1, Julien drives it high and deep out to left. Castillo back toward the corner, and he pulls it in on the warning track, 1 away. Julien gave it a ride, but it's an all-important leadoff out in the 9th.
Yeah, it really is. 3-1, got a pitch he could handle as well. Ooh. Again, look, that catch right there too. You're being a little timid right now. Again, from everything they experienced 24 hours ago, just clinging to that 1-run lead.
And the first pitch strike to Josh Naylor. Dangerous guy. Looming here with 1 gone in the 9th. And Naylor punches one to center field, and the tying run's on for Canada.
Man, he has been in that spot so many times, especially last year down the stretch with the Seattle Mariners. Big trade piece. His back's against the wall, gets a pitch he can handle. Just stays right at the middle, cool as a cucumber. And keep in mind, Tyler, you've got to watch him at first base. If you're Panama, he will be off. If he sees something he can cue in on, get that extra step and take off.
One of the biggest storylines in baseball last year, Josh Naylor's base stealing acumen, as the first pitch is a called strike to Tyler O'Neill. O'Neill called out on strikes on a pitch that he did not agree with in the 7th inning. Otherwise tonight, 2 walks and a fly out. Naylor is short lead at first. 1-1.
Agrazal's working quick, but again, he's coming up. 1-2, going. Give enough. If Josh Naylor at first base can jump off that bag, he'll be taken off.
2-1. Canada's remaining fans in attendance have moved down behind their team's dugout on the first base side. Panama's have done the same on the third base side. Hitters count for Tyler O'Neill. And he fouls one off to even it up.
Handcuffed him.
Agrazal comes set. Naylor's off. 2-2, swing and a miss, throw to second, not attempted, and Naylor is into scoring position with 2 gone.
That's a big strikeout right there. Obviously, Josh Naylor, the classic shuffle, and go. Just timed up Agrazal, but this is a big punch out. Challenging Tyler O'Neill. Fastball essentially down the middle, and strikes him out.
So it all comes down to Jared Young. 1 for 4 tonight. A base hit would likely tie it. And the first one fouled away. Agrazal deals, and Young comes up empty. 94, and Agrazal is 1 pitch away from putting Panama in the win column for the first time in this 2026 World Baseball Classic. Young fighting to stay alive. 0-2 pitch coming. Young waits on the 1-2, on the way to him, and got him on a swing and miss. And no, that is a foul ball. Wow. Home plate umpire Nestor Ceja, you could tell that he thought he heard something and got the ball from Miguel Amaya to check it for a contact mark. Man, you don't see that very often.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to see right here, but he was pretty convicted the fact he thought he heard something. A foul tip. He's got the best vantage point out of anyone in this stadium.
New life in a most unlikely way for Jared Young. Can he do something with it? Agrazal ready again. Another 1-2, and that's high. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I think Agrazal has to double up on that changeup. You got that swing and miss at the bottom of the strike zone.
Naylor away from second. 2-2. And Young doesn't get a piece of that one, and Panama is into the winner's circle for the first time in 2026.
Tyler, what a rebound from last night. Heartbreaking loss in that 10th inning, getting walked off from Puerto Rico. You have to come back, take a breath, and just do the little things, and that's exactly what they did here against this tough Canadian team.
What a bounce-back performance for Panama. An agonizing defeat last night. A lengthy battle tonight. And after 3 hours and 41 minutes, not including the hour rain delay from the originally scheduled start time, this game is in the books, and Panama is still alive in Pool A. Look at Miguel Amaya.
Man, hanging by a thread too. Agrazal, he's not your closer by any means, not someone who's going to come in and just blow the doors off you, but what a huge punch out. He had to do it twice, got that foul tip, had to come back, same pitch, changeup. We got a huge emotional strike 3. But man, you talk about jumping all over some of the mishaps from this Team Canada. The 3 of those runs unearned in that 6th inning. Doing the little things. We talked about Panama. The biggest weapon is going to be using that speed, using some of that those base runners. They were so aggressive early in this game, and it paid dividends in that 6th inning.
Each team left 10 on base in this game. Ryan, Canada went 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position. And coming up tomorrow, Panama is still alive with the opportunity to potentially advance to the World Baseball Classic quarterfinal. Colombia has been eliminated. They will try to play the role of spoiler and potentially save their 2029 aspirations without a necessary trip to the 2028 qualifiers. Puerto Rico and Cuba at 2-0, Canada at 1-1 after the loss tonight, and Panama right in the hunt, able to keep themselves as part of this push toward Miami and Houston. Tomorrow, don't miss our continuing coverage of Pool A from here on Bithorn Stadium in San Juan. Colombia and Panama coming up at noon with a big one between Cuba and Puerto Rico as the nightcap. For Ryan Rowland-Smith and our entire crew, my name is Tyler Maughan saying goodbye for now, and thanks for watching our presentation of the 2026 World Baseball Classic.